I, Starscream, am now the leader of the Decepticons.
Do as I command.
Yes, yes, Master.
Less talk, more work. Autobot presence detected. Megatron, do you read?
I'll crush you with my bare hands. Autobots, roll out!
We'll give them the fight of their lives.
They must be terminated.
Prime told me there'd be days like this.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Join them in extinction! You wrong, and you ugly too! Dinobots, attack!
Decepticons, retreat.
You are a fool, Megatron. Starscream in pursuit.
Prioritize turrets. I've got morons on my team. You fail me yet again, Starscream.
Old friend, you kept this planet safe. You truly are a worthy Autobot. Good work.
Right now, they just cannot deal with the tankiness of that, and that is going to spell a lot of trouble for Abe. They're explicit. We do have an engagement on here. Oh, Jesse, what a dawning light, even after that dodge attempt there, and they are going in. Kills right now going well into the favor of the Valley as we see Sushi coming in with that last insanity, is able to take down Iritha, Wapsi, and Raquel trying to put in some damage. Sushi goes down, put himself in a bad way. Jesse not able to get these things, these weaknesses up, and he is going to go down there. Boca know that Jesse's in the bush. This is a 3v1. This is not where you want to be. Raquel is going to go ahead and activate those black boots. Arville coming in there. Jesse might be in a little bit of trouble here. Death of the Blades coming down, takes down Jesse, and Raquel with a little bit of health is going to go ahead and try to... Yeah, so I mean, the kills maybe in Industrial City. Oh, Tomek does go down the best player there. Nicola able to pick up the kill onto Poppy, and up and Irithyll in a little bit of trouble. Savior needs to get out of dodge right now. Oh, but we do see a diversion coming in here. Here comes Gosu, best player, but is caught by those Sanguine Claws. Kucheva comes in with a heavy spin, is going to push two members into this tower, and it is able to put Warrior down. And the way of the dragon does come on. The best player is able to finish the job there. Oh man, Tomek goes into the wrong bush and does get taken down by best player. And look at best player is going to go ahead and have to disengage here, but does get taken down by Azazel. We do see that Fatal Links coming in there. Down goes Cecilia. What was the outcome you were expecting there? Cho's been getting caught here in a lot of these bushes. Oh, but you see Fatal Links coming in. Does grab Cho, and the Chow Poppy does go down. And this is going to be a real big dent in their clearing ability energy and their defense. Thank you so much for that introduction, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the North American Challenger Tournament Top 8. We are in the quarterfinals, and sitting next to me, the one, the only Mirko. And how are you feeling this morning for you, Mirko?
Yeah, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are, time zones, you know, but yeah, I'm feeling pumped, man. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling excited for the matches up ahead for today, especially the first match, right? Meta versus the Black Bulls. Now, I think at this point, right, everyone's got to be honest, right? No one expected Meta to beat BTK, especially in that manner. 2-0, and especially in game number 1, it was so dominant, and I'm just so excited to see whether or not Meta can perform here up against Black Bulls, who are as well kind of like just super insane. But before that, I think we're going to take a look at the brackets first, give you guys a little bit of a recap of what happened in the previous days. Here you go, Meta going up against Black Bulls. Then we're going to be followed up by match number 2 of today, where Team First Blood will go up against Insomniacs.
Yeah, and today, man, chock full of energy. I don't think there's a person who was not shocked by BTK being taken down by Meta. But the big question is, can Meta continue that dominance against Black Bulls? But not to take anything away from the second series, too, because Team First Blood and Insomniacs, two very well-known and dominant teams in North America. I mean, today's stream, today's matches, the series is today, I mean, I am pumped.
It's gonna be crazy, right? It's gonna be really crazy here because we kind of spoke about this a little bit before the stream started, right? How let's talk a little bit about the first match first here. Meta and Black Bulls. Meta, in my personal opinion as well, I kind of slept on this team, right? I slept on this team. I noticed their names. I like their names, Mikasa and Annie, because I'm a weeb. But other than that, I felt like their games were pretty just normal, average. You know, it didn't feel like they were that dominant force, but it really feels like they just rise to the level of their competition.
Yeah, and that's true. Is like, I mean, the matches, they didn't seem, not that they did bad, but they just were not the stats for them, how many kills they were getting, how well they were doing. It wasn't something that you wrote home to mom about. It was something that was like, it's another team here. We're gonna see how well they do against BTK. Well, honestly, it was like, how long do they last against BTK? And then come out, not only defeat BTK, but in such a dominating fashion. And we're gonna see if they can duplicate that success here against Black Bulls.
You know, when we're talking about this match, especially as we jump into the draft, there's one hero in particular that needs to be banned out, and there you go. You already see it. The first ban from the side of Black Bulls, it's the Eve. We've seen Mikasa play the Eve 4 times this tournament, and it's been Oh, it's been so massive. It's been insane. His Yves needs to be respected, but will the Black Bulls double down? Will they go for a Xavier ban as well? Because we've only seen Mikasa play these two heroes so far.
Yeah, even Xavier do seem to be like favorites, and especially with Meta having that first pick. And then that kind of leaves open, or well, that leaves the question of who are you leaving open if you're just you can't just like focus on one person. Although that does seem like the standout point from the last two matches. Mikasa, pretty much the star of the show from those matches. So we're gonna see how well they're able to balance these comps without that Eve, especially setting up with that with probably one of the best alts, team fighting alts in the game right now, that real world manipulation.
So much utility. It really does feel like Eve is just a complete package in the mid lane, right? You have a lot of clear you can poke, you have so much range, and just like you mentioned, that ultimate really plays an important role in these team fights. But let's see, the final ban coming out from Team Meta. It is going to be the Xavier ban, actually, from Meta, and the Black Bulls will have to respond with their final ban as well. My prediction is we might just see an Esmeralda ban, because Meta, they really like to go for that first pick Esmeralda. We've seen this, I think, multiple times in the first day when they performed, and also the match against BTK. In the second game, they first picked Esmeralda when they were on blue side.
Interesting thing for me here too is, especially when we're talking about some of these higher tier teams, usually in the first bans we usually see some of those harassing heroes, people like Franco, Masha. So that I feel like leaving those open, we might see those as first picks here, especially because they've become such a priority for the offense that you can pull, especially in the early game.
Your team is
Oh,
picking.
they actually opt for the ban on the Clint, which is, I think, is very, very, very intelligent, honestly, from the side of Black Bulls, because we've only seen Sirius really play. He's only been playing the Clint and the Beatrix, right? So two heroes. They prefer to ban the Clint out, leaving the Beatrix open still, but right now Mikasa is hovering over this Faramis pick. Now, I'm not quite sure if this is actually going to be picked up. They might just be hovering it for the lulz, but it can certainly work, right? If they actually want to go for these team fights, as they did against BTK, Faramis would actually work really well, but no, yeah, Valentina was up for grabs. They go for it as the first pick. Securing that hero is going to make so much of a difference here, because it's going to limit the heroes from the Black Bulls, but apparently not, man. That was instant. Julian and Esmeralda.
Yeah, not even considering that they already knew who they wanted. I think they pretty much anticipated with Valentina open that was going to be scooped up. It's interesting. It's an interesting card to play here, to give somebody who showed such skill on their mages, to give them Valentina, who has just been 100% win rate right now. Actually, I think like a 98% pick rate right now. She missed one match. I don't know why or what happened with that match. They just didn't pick her, didn't want her. But she is one of the strongest characters in NA right now. And giving that to somebody like Mikasa, I mean, I hope you have a plan. But they did pick up that Julian and Esmeralda, two very strong picks, and maybe a worthy trade.
Very good pick style composition. I guess it really depends, right, how they're gonna round this composition off, because it can go two ways. They can go for a pick style composition, maybe put the Julian as a mid laner, or they could just flex this, put it in the jungle. XP lane is not really in the arsenal right now, as the Esmeralda was picked up by the Black Bulls, but final pick here for the Black Bulls. They want to secure a gold laner, perhaps a Beatrix to go up, face off against the Brody, or perhaps they want to go for something different, maybe the jungler pick, right? I think they should just go for either the mid lane, no, the gold lane. The gold lane is the safest bet here, or the roamer. Just leave that Julian flex possibility up in the air, so that Meta needs to go for the bans early on, and that's exactly what they do. They go for the gold lane pick. The Claude gets picked up, not the Beatrix. So now we're entering the second phase of the ban. It should be, what are they gonna ban, honestly? Like right now, I think it's just gonna be respect bans.
I mean, we're definitely going to be looking probably for some roaming bans here right now. Roaming and XP, roaming for the side of both of them need roamers, and Meta still needs an XP laner here. So I mean, it's It's interesting here right now. Claude, we don't really have such a tanky front line for the side of meta right now. And then kind of from the back, Sirius and Mikasa do have a lot of mobility. So it's going to be kind of interesting to me to see how this Claude is going to be able to engage on these team fights with a very mobile back line, or where he's going to be able to kind of like do the most damage there. We do see that Diggy Band getting taken out there. I guess, probably one of the biggest banes when it comes to an Akai jungle, and then a Lolita on the side of Black Bulls here, which is interesting to me. Maybe more or less that might be a targeted ban, because their comp really doesn't. Lolita isn't really a great counter for their comp, so I mean maybe more of a targeted ban there for Black Bulls.
The roamers, right? This is the target so far in the second phase. The Lolita and obviously the Diggy and XP lane as well. The Dairoth and the Tamas. But we mentioned this in the first phase. Franco is still up for grabs. They actually, Loaf will pick up the Grok. We're already seeing an instant Johnson hover. I don't think it's going to be picked up, though. They actually go for the Estes here, which is very, very interesting. The Estes pickup for meta. And for that XP lane, what do they want to pick up? Do they want to flex this Akai over? No, the Leomord, the Yisun Shinsei, it might just be an Akai flexed here onto the XP lane as the Estes goes to the roaming position. This is very blacklisty, Ube strat. The Ultimate Bonding Experience strat is might come through, but we still don't know. They're still trying to flex their picks.
Yeah, I was just about to say, shades of blacklist here. We don't see the Estes too often in North America, but we do see Annie picking up that Masha. Wondering if that is still going to be, it does appear that it's just going to be an XP laner. Interesting enough, though, I'm not sure how successful Masha has been in that XP lane during the laning phase. She does have a little bit of a problem. I feel like she kind of shines during mid and late if she is going to be played on the XP lane, where she can kind of flank into fights, maybe get deeper onto that back line and kind of shut down some of those squishier heroes. But we do see on the other side that Black Bull's kind of dancing around a Paquito pick, very early game, and then especially with that Grok, a lot of just raw damage that's going to be able to come out with that CC. I am liking both of these comps right now, especially we don't see Estes very often. I'm very eager to see how meta performs on this.
Look at the compositions. Honestly, I feel like it's all going to come down to the execution, right? I think both teams, they've been able to, compile a very good composition for both of them, right? There's a full dive composition on the right side for the Black Bulls, and for meta, it's kind of a little bit more chill, maybe a little bit more front to back, but obviously there is more flexibility, I feel like, on the side of meta. Valentina adds so much into this, right? Which ult are you going to steal? Which ult are you going to utilize? It can be the Grok ult to go for the engage, maybe follow up, or perhaps you can just go for the Julian, adding a little bit more damage into the follow-up of the engage from his team.
Yeah, and with an Estes on your team too, as long as your rotations are tight, you're grouping properly, I mean, you can even stay reactionary to it because you've got that Estes with that blessing of the Moon Goddess there. You can just heal up your team. You don't really have to worry about those engagements or being caught out of position as long as you guys are grouped properly. So it's going to be very exciting here. We are starting, though, match 1 meta, taking on the Black Bulls.
Let's see, man. Again, this is gonna be a hype one, right? We already know how Mikasa performed on the Yve, on the Xavier, Sirius as well on the Clint against BTK, but now they're kind of forced into an uncomfortable position, right? Mikasa playing on that Valentina, Brody as well. Let's see as the battle for the first Lethal Wanderer commences here in the mid lane. Topside River Howl already jumping in a little bit aggressively onto Loaf, dishing out a little bit more damage as Six is there to provide the support. Howl gets this for free with the retribution, and the Black Bulls, they don't really commit for it, right? They just let it go, they go back, but this is the pressure that Valentina has in lane. So much damage early on.
Yeah, and I feel like it's gonna kind of, until you get that anti-heal, it's gonna be a continual pressure as she's kind of starting to get revved up, as Estes starts ticking for more and more health, and then once he gets that ultimate, you're gonna need a plan. You're not just gonna be able to dive into meta right now, and we do see a little bit of aggravation being put here onto this turret.
Oh, Mikasa taking so much turret aggro there as Bombi goes in for the knockout strike, but doesn't go for the kill just yet. The first blood will be connected onto Loaf there, but yeah, KLQT gets out with the battle mirror image. Very crisp positioning as well. Maybe a little bit of an overextension from Meta, but look in the mid lane. Howl looking for a trade here, trying to go for that kill onto Paul. Will not find it. Black Bulls strike first blood.
I very much like that, able to pick up the kill onto Mikasa, but not forcing the fight. They disengaged, got away, and then just kind of played it safe, and now are going to go ahead and try to get some damage onto this turtle.
With the turtle being started up, Meta, do they choose to respawn? Annie already in a position where they can go for something, but the retribution was used onto the purple buff. That's how without the retribution, and that's a free turtle going to the hands of the Black Bulls. Not actually that free though, because Meta, they decide to go and trade it for the turret in the bottom side. That's going to be a lot of gold actually placed onto the hands of Sirius. Full turret plating.
Yeah, absolutely a great thought process by Meta. Not able to get the turtle. That decision was made early, so they went ahead, pushed bottom, got a tower for that. And those are the types of trades that I've been talking about that you want to make if you're not going to be able to get turtle. Either trying to get a gank in the other lane, or a turret's even better than that.
Yeah, I mean, with the Estes, right, they don't really have a lot of kill pressure, but again, they just use that to clear out the waves. They don't care about the damage coming in from KLQT. Picks up a turret for free, and they're already rotating. They're doing a lane swap here. Is in the bottom side. Howl gonna get ganked on. Low goes in for wild charges. That's the knockout strike to pin him down, to pick up the kill, and also convert onto the objective. Meanwhile, top side, Mikasa finds a trade. Annie rotates down below, will be able to clear out the minion waves, and Paul is going to be stuck under that turret. Loaf has already started his walk over to that top side. It doesn't seem like Meta will be able to, execute on this dive with the help of Loaf, but I might be wrong. Let's see. Wall is there. Loaf trying to defend, and that's the enhanced chain to clear out the waves. The Black Bulls defend that top side.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are doing such a crisp job of they have a plan, they execute it, and then they move on. They don't linger. If something messes up, they're not going to, we do have, Mikasa might be getting caught there, is able to dash out of the way of Paul there from those chains and still get the safety, but 6 taken down off camera.
Yeah, Estes, very, very easy to pick off here, especially on the Paquito, right? Once you get that knockout strike, it is going to be, it's a good setup. You CC him, unable to go for those heals. It is going to be tough for 6. He even used the sprint earlier to try to get out of that bombing range from the jabs and from the knockout strikes, but it seems like without the help of 6, the Black Bulls will have control of the turtle once again. Mikasa though going in, Howl with that heavy spin will be able to just pin him down for the damage to come through from Meta, as now that's gonna be the turtle reclaimed by Meta. They pick up the turtle without the retribution, and the Black Bulls have no response just yet. Mikasa has the wild charge. Will he choose to use it right now? He doesn't use it just yet. Torn apart memory comes in from Sirius with that flicker under the turret, and they will be able to find another kill on Sam QT. Equal kills on the board.
Yeah, and only 4 minutes in, and we're starting to see the issues that you have with that Valentina pick, the amount of damage that she can put on, and unfortunately, Loaf kind of dodged. Oh, Annie in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, Jukes, and he's still able to run away, has the sprint, he is going for more HP, might be able to turn this around onto Kale, who has the Black Mirror image now. It is Bombi who jumps in, and that's the enhanced chain by Paul to finish the job off. Top side though, they do lose a turret, so again, Meta just so clean on how they're playing the map, how they're getting objectives and converting onto them, but in the mid lane, Bombi once again almost just burst 6 down. Mikasa goes in for the wild charge. Loaf is on, can't be CC'd, they're unstoppable. Mikasa goes for more, and he'll be able to pick up another kill on to Paul. Once again, Meta, every time the enemy team takes, they take back.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. You almost would think it might be on purpose, like they're kind of baiting in these fights where they lose somebody just so that they can take another tower on the opposite side of the map. It's a very crisp gameplay, especially once you see it happening. You're like, oh man, they took a kill on another engagement here at mid.
Oh, Bomi just gets bursted down by Sirius. The enhanced chain though gets 2. Loaf goes over the wild charge, and that's the falling star moon as well. But they're just too sustainable. Kill QT. He does no damage against this team composition. Again, the heals just keep coming through, and the Black Bulls with their dive team fight style composition will literally not be able to do anything there in the mid lane. That's another turret picked up, and this is what we mentioned. This is very Blacklist-ish, very Blacklist playstyle, man.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with this reaction. As soon as they get jumped on with Black Bulls, as long as they're kind of neat and organized and together, Six is going to be able to top off the entire team and give them the sustain to be able to last through these fights. And now we're starting to see that. I think that might be the first turtle for meta, even though, I mean, losing those last turtles didn't really affect them too much with how they've been macroing in this match.
Oh man, Sirius there was able to actually flicker out of the wild charge. He goes in for a stun, and Loaf caught there, and that Sirius still able to dish out so much damage. 1 HP, gonna get taken down, but buys enough time for Mikasa to look for that trade. Bomi is low, he needs to recall, he needs to back up, and Mikasa, look at him, he's just chasing him down, forcing him to recall the manual way. Walk back to base, buddy.
Yeah, and right now, Mikasa already has that Clock of Destiny and Enchanted Talisman. Yeah, we can see here in the replay, look at this as they go in, he's getting topped off, all the damage, not doing enough to meta here, even with that Blazing Duet. Howl able to get out of the, able to get topped off by Six there, and a very great positioning by him.
Oh man, when you deal that much damage onto the roamer as a Valentina, you know it's gonna be tough for the Black Bulls. They can't even look for any engages at this point, right? They lose out on that burst. The burst does not go through the sustainability that the Estes provides so far in this match. Even though Six has been picked up 3 times, it hasn't been working out. Again, that damage from Mikasa, man, taking out half HP off of Loaf and Paul. Bomi goes over the knockout strike onto Six. There's still a lot of HP there for Six to go in. He uses the ultimate heavy spin now, gonna be able to pin Sam QT down. Meanwhile, topside turret taken down. Bomi is going to fall as well. 4v5, and it doesn't even matter. Any under the turret, Mikasa too. They just don't care about turrets. Haldo taken low, gonna get taken down, and that's Six to follow up as well on that death. And that's a 2-for-1 trade. But again, meta, every single time they lose out the kills on kills, but they get turrets.
Yeah, and that's what you need to be worried about too. I mean, every single time they engage, at this point, if you're Black Bulls and an engagement happens, you just need to look at the map, because it seems like that's kind of just a ploy. And you see here from this replay, just the 2 kills, Bomi going ahead and getting taken down there by the damage from Mikasa. So it's not even just the healing you need to worry about at this point with that Valentina. It's the immense amount of damage. And even though they did lose 2 there, they were able to pick up the tower. But that Lord does go over, that first one going over to Black Bulls.
Now we're seeing some fight, right? Now we're seeing Black Bulls do this exact same thing that meta has been doing to them the entire game. They're picking up these objectives, and they're actually able to maneuver over to the Lord, knowing that Six was down, knowing that Annie was down. Meta really couldn't look for these team fights, and Bomi's already looking for more here. Sirius finds him, Mikasa there all alone, but will be able to dash out. He has the wild charge, so this is very dangerous for the Black Bulls. But 9th minute in, let's take a look at the items first.
Yeah, we do see that Blade of Despair and Malefic Roar has been finished by Sirius there. And on the other side, Golden Staff and Demon Hunter Sword being picked up by Cal Cutie. But we do have this Lord crashing in right now.
Oh my god, that enhanced chain and the knockout strike is still not enough, man. Kill QT, he thought it was a good time to go for the follow-up with the Battle Mirror image. He just sprinted in with the Blazing Duet, but again, that's where this Estes shines. When you think that the enemy members are vulnerable, there's always that Estes from behind healing everyone up, and no one loses HP at all. The Black Bulls with the Lord unable to really capitalize on that, and again, Sirius, he gets chunked, but it's all good, man. Six is there.
Yeah, not even just not losing health. They do go down, but he's so patient with those heals that he waits to almost bait the enemy in to like, yeah, they're getting low. This is the time to attack. And then Six comes in with that ult and starts topping them up. And then for a brief moment, they're just not taking any damage at all.
Look at the way they're playing the map, right? This is just very intelligent by meta. They know that currently they can't really put pressure onto that mid lane. Wait a minute, Bomi, wait, he goes in the bush again. face checking, and he gets punished for it, man. Meanwhile, Mikasa gets immobilized, but again, this is the thing. This is the thing with Estes. You can play this aggressively. It doesn't really matter as long as you have that maneuverability to get back to your Estes. Look at Mikasa. He's playing under the turret, just proxying the wave, getting that Terrify onto Paul. As Annie comes in, he dishes out the damage, forcing Paul to flicker out, and Annie, all he loses is 1 HP bar. They get the turret. This is the pressure that they've been waiting to just put on that mid turret, right? Once Bombi gets taken down, this is just another free turret, perhaps for meta, but no, the Black Bull still able to defend for now. 30 seconds on the Lord.
Yeah, and this is what I like about them too. They don't kind of linger around. They are going to go ahead and try to push this lane up at the top. Not sure if they're really looking for an engagement here right now. Oh my gosh.
What? Mikasa goes in with a wild charge, 5-3, and the instant follow-up there from the team. You know, man, you know. It really just seems like they're not even communicating, right? It feels like the team just knows. They know when Mikasa wants to make those crazy plays, and they follow up on it. That felt like a 1v3 kind of play. Mikasa dealt, I think, 80% of the damage alone as they siege down the turret in that top side. Base turret taken down. Super minions going to be spawning next wave as they don't get too feisty. They don't get too aggressive. They falling back, going for the Lord. And Sirius somehow on the Brody getting a solo kill against Sam QT. That's something you don't see every day, man.
Yeah, I don't really think all the way here. We're going to take a look at this flicker, a wild charge by Mikasa, taking down 3 members of Black Bulls here. It is so much damage as the rest of meta just collapses onto them.
At this point, it's not even fair, right? Mikasa is 1v4. He's 1v9, bro, at this point. Like, Mikasa, we said it. He's only shown the Yves. He's only shown the Xavier. How good is he on other heroes? Apparently, it's all of the other heroes, they're just hidden. They're just hidden, you know? Mikasa, dude, poggers. That's the only thing I need to say, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were just showing the Eve there. Maybe just that was him being merciful for the rest of those matches. He's not using these other mages that he's apparently a monster on right now. And right now we do have this Luminous Lord coming in, but with this team, we have the mid lane starting to sink in. Not sure if this is the fight that they want.
Oh, Mikasa taking so much turret aggro, will be punished there. Shutdown picked up by KLQT, not the member you want to give that gold over to. Meanwhile, Sam trying to look for that re-engage once again onto Hao, onto Sirius, but they are actually able to maneuver around it. That's going to be the Lord taken down at the top side with the help of KLQT and Bombi, but this is so much time and resources put onto that top side. That's Annie jumping under the turret onto Paul. Now, Loaf going to be the target. Sirius dishing out a lot of damage, but in that top side, it is still Bombi going up against the Lord. Finally taking it down, but they've lost the mid lane turret. They might lose out on the bottom side, but now it's going to be meta jumping backwards. Sam QT looking for the falling Star Moon, and that's the engage coming from the wild charge as KO jumps in with a blazing duet, finding 2. That's 6 taken down, and that is a disaster. Annie taken very low. Hao trying to recover from this, trying to help him down, pinning KO down, but man, it's only a kill traded for the 3 kills that was picked up by Black Bulls. Again, meta did pick up the turrets, but I don't think this is worth it. This was definitely a little bit too aggressive from meta.
Yeah, definitely a little too aggressive and maybe a little uncharacteristic as from the first half of this match. Probably getting a little bit too eager there. You see, like, I mean, they had 2 members down already and just trying to take on all 5 members of Black Bulls, kind of a mistake there. Even with Hal able to pick up the kill onto KLQT, not really a worthy trade there. And I mean, they've been backing up. They've been safe for most of this match right now. I feel like maybe they were kind of overextending from what they had. They thought they had a bigger lead than they did, and right now they've almost been tied back up to the Black Bulls.
This is where it gets dangerous, right? Early on into the mid stages of the game, it was still good for meta. Even though they're not taking these good trades in the team fights, they're getting poked down, they always still have 6 to just sustain them back up. The thing is, now that we're entering the 15th minute of the game, the Black Bulls, they'll certainly have some dominance ices. Maybe, yeah, they're going to have a lot of anti-regen. We're going to see it right here. The Dominance Ice already picked up by Loaf. We also see a Dominance Ice picked up by Sam. So again, 2 anti-regen items as Bombi picks up the turret into the mid lane. Evolve Lord, not just here yet. It's still the Enhanced Lord. They're looking for it. They're going for it instantly here, bursting it down. But the Black Bulls, they are looking for the contest. Bombi in that bush. Is meta going to reset? Meanwhile, though, Annie just dishes out so much damage onto Kale QT, able to zone him away, and just like that, that's a free Lord going to the hands of meta. And again, when you think that they made a mistake, they still can go back on that discipline route, right? They played so well with Annie just flanking and the others going on to the Lord. The decision making is sublime by meta.
Yeah, Annie just diving deep into the line to zone out by herself, zone out all 5 members of Black Bulls. They were pretty much chasing her around the jungle while the rest of meta able to pick up this Lord. So, I mean, a few mistakes, but then they get right back at it into such a dominating fashion as well.
Omi use the knockout strike there in the bottom side, and now that's going to be a lot of room put on for the side of meta. That's going to be how zoning Paul away. Blaze of the Wind comes in with the Wind of Nature as well, but Mikasa burst Bromi down. He's still there with the help of 6, just sustaining everyone back up. Sam's going to be the target right now as he gets knocked up. He's going to get stunned down, and he picks up the kill. Paul looking for compensation, goes on to 6, but meta again 1-0, leading the series, still have yet to drop a single game.
Yeah, it just nothing. I mean, they have really come in on fire, and that's Estes pick, this composition, and how well that they executed it. I mean, what more can you say about it? Like shades of like you were saying, of how Blacklist uses this here. And look at the team fight participation, 44% damage on Mikasa here. Here comes the problem now. What are you taking off the board? You can't just ban all the mages. So you have to have a plan. You have to offer something up to Mikasa and potentially maybe try to counter it. Because at this point, I mean, what can you do to stop them?
Man, I'm still just I'm kind of speechless, right? Again, the big topic today was like, meta winning against BTK, was it a fluke, right? Mikasa popping off on the Eve, on the Xavier, can he do it on other heroes? And I think every one of those questions has been answered, right? So far, the Black Bulls are still in it. Obviously, it's a best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. So for the Black Bulls, they can simply reset. They can think of a different strategy for game 2. But as of right now, it's still same story. They have yet to drop a single game in the NACT. This is insane.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we saw little shades, especially as far as objectives were going in, and it's so hard to come up with a plan here because they had a plan to go for these objectives. They got the objectives, but come to find out, meta was allowing them to get those objectives so that they could turn around, get the towers in trading for these turtles, getting kills and towers for that. And then even when it comes to the Lord pushes and everything like that. So, I mean, it's very interesting, very dominating by meta and Black Bulls. I mean, we're definitely going to need to see something different here, something that will help them to deal with this, especially as it comes into the mid and late game. I didn't really feel like that was a great early game comp for meta, but just how dominating that they were, it just carried over. And once you got to the mid game and into the late game, it was pretty much GG from there, just downhill.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think the big problem is the fact that, again, meta, they went for an Ube strat, right? They went for the Ube composition with the Estes. They played as a 5-man team for the most part. Sometimes we did see the Brody, actually, out of all people, go into the side lanes and start split pushing. I thought that was Damasha's job, but you just so strong in that game. It just, yeah, there's nothing that even the Esmeralda could do against that Brody. Bursted down, 1v1 solo kill. We don't see that all day, man. I'm a Brody player. I usually lose against Esme. So serious is pretty serious, man. Not just the Clint, Brody as well. No, we're gonna jump in.
Yeah, we're moving into the ban and the drafts here, and we do see still respecting that Eve. Definitely not wanting to see a repeat of last week, but I'm definitely wondering how we're gonna adjust these bans after that last game, because like we said, you're not gonna be able to ban out Mikasa. So I mean, you're gonna need to have a plan for the comp that they have and be a little bit more reactionary on this draft and maybe get some counters out there for what they have.
Yeah, you ban the Yves, you ban the Xavier, perhaps. I think now it's time to ban the Valentina. At this point, we just need to ban Mikasa from NACT, right? But no, okay, there we go. Valentina ban from Meta here in game 2. we can already see respect, right? Even though they were so dominant on that Valentina, they know the strengths of this hero. Mikasa played very well in game number 1, but obviously onto the hands of Paul as well. It could be a threat. So taking it away, we can already see respect, right? From meta, they're not too overconfident. They're still staying true to their bans and their picks throughout this tournament. Very respectful.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how we develop here. I mean, we saw some people toying around with that Faramis, and I'm wondering, will the Faramis maybe, because I feel like it kind of plays the same way as Estes. You want your team nice and tight, close together, so that you can get like that regen, that little immortality, I guess, from his cult altar. And I'm wondering if that might even be a matchup for Estes, if you see it. It's just interesting here. I'm excited just because I love seeing, maybe not new things for you because you've been seeing this Estes pick for a while, but maybe new things in NA. People starting to pick up. Yeah, yeah. But like something new in NA. This is not a big pick here. Faramis has not come up in here in a while. So it's just really interesting to see how these teams are going. And we do see Lolita being banned out early as well. And we're just waiting for that last ban out of meta. And I'm wondering if they're going to take out the Xavier or offer it up to Black Bulls.
Well, they're gonna leave the Xavier open. They ban out the Thamas again, respecting Sam QT. Sam has been, in my opinion, for the Black Bulls, one of the core members in this team. Right, when Sam performs, when he is able to create space for the team in that XP lane, they just shine so bright. But they go for the first pick for Xavier onto the hands of Paul. The Faramis pick here, already being hovered again by Mikasa. Hal goes in, picks up that Julian, and he's still with the Masha. They just respect. They just go for it, right? Balman, though, a hero that was banned in the first game, will show up here in the second. This hero has been a favorite in NA, right? I mentioned this the first time I started casting for NACT, second time as well. We don't really see the Balman a lot in the Indonesian server, but in the Filipino server, apparently this is a very prio pick as well. And here in NA, exact same thing, right? We've seen Balman being prioritized every single time, but now the Atlas ban comes through. This gives an opening for the Diggy pick, actually, for meta.
Yeah, it does, but there it is, which does instantaneous there, and it is going to leave a lot open, especially for those engagements. It's one thing to have a Diggy that can react to those fatal links, but especially if you use Diggy as an offensive to kind of charge in there, it might prove a little bit of problems, especially for the back line of Black Bulls there. So it just depends on how we're going to use this too. I'm really excited to see these. I love seeing picks that are not a usual for NA here, and we are moving on into the second banning phase here for Black Bulls and meta.
Yeah, dude, meta. These picks are really intelligent, right? You can already see how they're basically dictating the draft. With the first pick, Masha, Julian, it basically kind of really counters the Xavier, right? They countered the Xavier with the Masha, going to that back line, with obviously that mid lane kill pressure as well on this Julian. Whether or not we see it in the mid lane or the jungle, it's still just so much kill pressure on the board. And obviously, countering that Atlas with the Diggy. It feels like in the first phase, Black Bulls have been outdrafted. They need to recover in the second, but we're already seeing a lot of respect bans. Beatrix taken out, Clint as well. We're probably going to see another gold lane ban perhaps, or maybe an XP lane ban, right? For meta especially, they might want to take that Esmeralda out, maybe force Sam to play a hero he's not comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, right now the draft is kind of in the favor of meta. I do like the potential for the CC and the stuns on the side of Black Bulls if we can bait out that Diggy ult. I mean, if you, I know if we're planning on if you have all this CC, maybe if you kind of like stagger them out a bit, have that maybe Xavier CC coming in there, somebody else coming in as well, and then waiting for that before you come in with a fatal links, you might be able to catch them. It's an interesting pick here, and it looks like we're primarily focusing right now on just banning out all these marksmen. So I think we might see a carry. Perhaps,
Brody,
yeah, carries. So, there's Popol is open, I guess. Carry's open. I don't know what else is left for the golden.
Add it all to the list. Oh yeah, there you go. With the Popol up, they pick it up. Sam hovering over that Badang. I don't know if it's going to be picked up, though. Again, with the Pawpaw picked up, yeah, that's the Esmeralda that we were talking about. It's going to be locked in for the Black Bulls. There is one hero that we've seen Kale on a lot of times. That's the carry. He picks it up instantly now. He is up against a Masha. This is a very good pick, but up against the Pawpaw, I think meta kind of already predicted that, right? They banned out the Beatrix and the Claude, forcing him to play this carry, and they pick up the Pawpaw first, and the Lunox to finish it off. This is a very dangerous composition in the early stages up until the late stages, right? But Black Bulls can really capitalize on that early game. If they're able to use that pressure that they have on neutral objectives with the Atlas, Esmeralda, and that Bauman in the early stages, they can snowball in and maybe take the game in the mid stage, but they just don't want to go late game.
Well, and that's definitely it, and that's where Ballman does shine, is that early game, and especially with that jungler emblem. Even if he does get behind, he is able to kind of macro right back up to be able to take down minions and even start taking it from the enemy's side there. So if they can kind of keep up that pressure, keep him protected, keep these rotations really nice and tight, and maybe starve out that Julian, we might be able to see them being able to close out and push very substantially in this early game. But man, that's a big call. But if anybody can pull it off, it's going to be Black Bulls as we move on into this game 2. Black Bulls taking on Meta.
Honestly, looking back at it, the late game for the Black Bulls isn't that bad. The only thing that I feel like is you know, making me still choose meta in that late game is the fact that the Atlas will not have any engage potential, right? With the Diggy, it's just really tough. Time Journey going to be up every single time. It's just tough if you're the Atlas here. You know, you really need to look for that crazy pick. You need to look for the awkward timings to actually catch meta off. And we've seen Six just been he's been so on point on the Estes. I think he can be even more on point on this Diggy. But look, in the bottom side, we can already see a gank here for the Black Bulls. Already a change of pace as they go for the gold lane first. Sirius caught will be forced to use the sprint early on. Kale will have the advantage in the early game. This is what meta wanted to do with the pop ball, try to get that early game advantage. But because of that roam, Kale gonna have a good time there.
Yeah, is able to get away there. And as you were saying that, like, it is going to be a little harder for Black Bulls here. And you do see Bombi coming in here onto Cirrus.
Yeah, no sprint, but Six just uses the reverse time, brings Kale back so that there's no more pressure on to his gold laner. But Bombi, again, the farming, right? He clears waves super fast, clears the jungle very, very fast. We'll be able to have a little bit more pressure on the neutral objectives compared to Howl on the Julian with the lethal counter. In the mid lane, though, we're already seeing Mikasa, again, winning on these trades against the Xavier. On the Lunox, that's pretty strange, right?
Yeah, and it is a little strange here, and we do see a big focus here on this gold lane right here. Like, Bombi has not left it since he came down here. He is not going to be able to pick up that gold crab there, and I believe right now, I mean, we have 3 seconds for this turtle, and definitely trying to see who is going to go for it or what the plan is here as we start in this engagement in the mid lane.
Oh man, again, Howl with enhanced chain able to catch Bombi. That Mystic Field actually immobilizing Howl. Falling Simon onto Annie. He will not lose his life. The save as the Dawning Light does not connect. It's turned around by Meta. Oh my goodness. Annie 1 HP away. And Meta, again, somehow they stay composed. In the bottom side though, Kale QT finds a kill. So it is traded somewhere on the map. Black Bull still with a slight gold lead.
Well, I mean, it's demoralizing once you have what you think is a perfect, easy kill. Anna's disengaging, and just the foresight to turn right as that Dawning Light is going to come out. And so avoiding the kill there, and and able to pick up the turtle.
Yeah, now Black Bulls are in full control in the early stage of the game, right? The bottom side, the lane that they supposedly should be the weak side of the map for them, is winning. Kale right now in that gold lane, so much farm just being funneled into him. Even the jungle creeps here being funneled over to him in that gold lane. The thing is, they're always putting so many members down below. It's hard for meta to look for any, kill pressure, maybe even dive pressure. There's no way they can do that. Bombi already rotating again, opening up the map as that's gonna be serious. Trying to go for the Biden Koopa, stunning Bombi up. That's low, taken low. He goes in for the perfect match, finds the fatal lanes, but gets bursted down before it even connects. Now Bombi caught. Howl looking for the re-engage under the turret. Mikasa gonna get taken low. Dawning Light to finish him up. Howl still able to get out, maneuver out of that turret. It is a 1-for-1, but the Mystic Field almost just silences Howl there. Oh my god, almost the kill, but Kale still under that turret. Annie though, he's looking for it, he's going in, sprint instantaneously onto Kale. The Mystic Field is there, but he's still gonna get taken down. Annie looking for more, reverse time put onto Loaf. Both teams finally disengage, but look at the gold, it's back on the side of Meta.
Yeah, it's just an amazing play down there as well. I mean, keeping it, Black Bulls had a decent attempt there. Maybe not the fight I would have taken there, but you do see Brilliance getting activated in mid lane as Mikasa is able to safely disengage there. But as I was saying, like they are trying to force some of these fights here. I think that was like about a 3v4 fight here. It wasn't really in Black Bulls' hands from the beginning there, and unfortunately, it just got worse as they all started kind of colliding together and forcing their way down there.
Yeah, initially it was already really good, right? They were able to get a 1-for-1 mid lane traded for Roamer, but I guess they kind of stayed too long. Meanwhile, in the mid lane though, Bommy finds a pick on to Howl, so that's another free turtle that should go to the hands of the Black Bulls. Sam also clearing out the waves. It's really tough for Meta to look for any neutral objective control in this early stage of the game. We kind of predicted that, but it's been very dominant, right? Black Bulls not giving a single opportunity. Bummy doesn't have the retribution. We'll still be able to pick it up in the mid lane, though so much damage by Mikasa. At this point, if he pops off on the Lunox, I won't even be surprised, right? Bummy coming in, dishing out some damage. Has the lethal counter now to put on some pressure. Dawning Light with the lethal counter doesn't take Mikasa down, but will push him away, force him to recall. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Sirius goes in for the turret. Loaf unable to connect that perfect match onto anyone, and Sirius will just be able to back off.
So the difference here from last game is still Black Bulls able to go ahead and latch onto these early objectives, but Meta is not getting as much value on the other side of the map as they used to. And Black Bulls is definitely more prepared this time for those anti-objective pushes, I want to call them. Oh, a little bit of engagement here on the Bommy.
The Fatal Links connects there, but again, the time journey perfectly timed by Meta. That's gonna be low taken down. Enhanced chain onto Kale, and that's a kill picked up by Sirius. Meanwhile, in the back line, Mikasa and Annie always pressuring, forcing again Paul to back off. Now with no pressure on the board, even the mid lane, Sam is gonna be able to clear it out, but they pick up the turret in the bottom side, converting on these objectives, and they're looking for that mid lane turret. With this pop ball, they're just gonna be able to shred through it, man. It's not even gonna be a question whether or not they're gonna get this. A free turret once again for Meta, 2-for-0.
Man, it's just so amazing too, because Black Bulls doing what they're supposed to here. You see this little engagement here. Bobby comes in there, and the Fatal Links comes in, but that time journey is activated and stops it, prevents it, and they just go running wild onto the Black Bulls there. And now up at top turret, probably looking to go down now too.
It's just so tough if you're Black Bulls, right? The fact that you picked up the Atlas before you saw the Diggy, before you tried, before you banned the Diggy, it was a gamble, but they were willing to take it. Now Annie, though, he's gonna get bursted down in the bottom side. Annie looking for that kill onto Kale, will not be able to find it. Does lifesteal, does sustain for a little bit, but will fall in the end. This gives the opportunity, though, to Meta to look for the trade. I don't think they're gonna be able to get this, though, with Paul pinning Howl down with a Mystic Field. Sam QT joins up, and Howl, yeah, he's taking very low. Dawning Light as well, he's still going for it. That's gonna be the enhanced sword. He goes in for retribution, but Bommy takes the turtle with a lethal counter. Sirius jumping into the back line as Loaf once again will not be able to connect on the Fatal Links. Mikasa free hitting, but Black Bulls, they secured a third turtle of this game. All turtles going to the hands of the Black Bulls, but again, look at the gold. It's still Meta who has the gold lead, even though the neutral objective control has been 100% Black Bulls.
Yeah, and that just speaks to the farming ability and objective, well, not objective, but like farming focus of Meta. If they're just going to ignore the objectives, they know that they need to keep on farming. And wait for Howl to thread the needle up there, take it to like a sneeze of death, and still able to get away, like just dancing there as well too, trying to put as much as he can before he knew he had to exit.
Well, Loaf, yeah, as you can see now, it's starting to get really frustrating, man, for Loaf, right? Every time he looks for a perfect match, 6 is always there. He's always there. He's always waiting. He's always rotating, matching Loaf's rotation as well. So every time Loaf goes in for the perfect match now, he's forced to back up. That's strange to see. You don't want your Atlas to do that, but at this stage of the game, they can't really look for anything aside from that. Loaf, once again, goes in for the perfect match, stunning Howl up. He has the Fatal Links, but he's not going to be able to use it because the time journey is still available. but Mikasa goes in and Annie with a follow-up. Mikasa flickers forward, he will fall there, but he will find Paul first, and Annie does so much damage, goes in onto Kale. 6 now in the back line, still helping him, trying to escape, but it is going to be a 2-for-2 trade. I think this favors the Black Bulls.
Yeah, they did get a little bit of a breathing room here, able to take down 2 members. I mean, they tied it right here, 2-2, trade for 2-2 there, right there. But like, you're so right. As soon as like, I mean, there's nothing he can do, even reacting as in his final moments to pull off that the fatal links there. I mean, he is just not able to use that when he wants to, and there needs to be a plan, something to possibly bait this out from the Diggy if you want, if you have hopes for the rest of this match.
But this is where we can actually see a hole in Meta's composition, right? A hole that maybe Black Bulls can exploit here as we enter the mid stage of the game over to the late stages of the game. In these prolonged team fights, it is actually going to favor Kale on this carry and obviously Paul on the Xavier. They can really just spam abilities, whereas Meta, once they use their burst damage, it's going to be really tough. Bommy tries to look for an opening there to clear out, to go for the Lord, but he's going to get stunned up by Sirius, who pops in the sprint, forcing him to back away. Kale can't even go for the orange buff. He doesn't get it here. Let's see if Annie can steal it away. He does, and Black Bulls once again on the back foot with the Lord marching down that top side. Meta are going to look for the siege.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, you're kind of waiting for Meta to make a mistake. They did last time. They got a little over-eager, and this is where they're going to need to capitalize right now, because right now it's so dominant. We do see a flicker coming out there. Loaf does come in, is not able to catch anybody there, as we do have the Lord kind of stalled a little bit, is going to be coming up onto that top lane, but minions crashing at mid and bottom right now.
As an Atlas player, you're going to be so frustrated to see this, right? When Sam goes in for that Falling Storm, when catching 4 members, it's just like, yeah, I want to go for the Fatal Links, but the thing is that Diggy, he's always just waiting for my ultimate, right? So at this point, Love is going to be useless, but wait, Sirius going to get bursted down instantaneously. Love looking for the Fatal Links, doesn't connect. There you go, the time journey once again. Bommy gets chained there, gets knocked up, and he's dealing so much damage, and Low falls as well. They're actually winning out of the prolonged team fight. Kale and Paul, relatively untouched. Kale gets knocked up there, but again, it's Meta winning out on the trades. 2 for 1, only losing Sirius.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, the prolonged team fights, and then Mikasa comes in and says, hold my beer, goes in there and is able to regen and take down some members of Black Bulls. I mean, this, what do you do if you're Black Bulls here? Look at how much, I mean, they're going in, they're trying to prolong this, trying to dance even at their towers, and Meta is still coming out on top.
6 is so annoying, man. Let's be honest, right? 6 is just so annoying. You can even see it. Even without the time journey, he used it already. He's still very useful, but not. He's just using the time bombs just to zone the backline away, right? Paul, Kale, every time they try to hit the members of Meta, they're always getting harassed there, right? But here again, Bommy gets chunked to a quarter of his HP. The conceal needs to be popped defensively, and you can only see Low again. He's looking for those picks, man. He's looking for the awkward timing, but 6, he's just always waiting for that. He's so annoying on this Diggy, man.
Yeah, annoying, and just such a great placement by him too. He's always in the back, never getting too close. We do see Mikasa diving in, able to take down Paul.
Mikasa again and again. He's able to find Paul here against 4 members. He just jumps in, does the Ruby DD combos. That's the mid lane turret taken down. Enhanced chain over. Kale gonna get knocked up. Sam taken very low. Mikasa's looking for the kills, and he runs him down. He has the sprint in 1 second. He will pop it instantaneously, and that might just be the kill taken over. Yep, Esmeralda running over to Mikasa will be forced to back up. Bommy tries to clear up the waves, will fall, and this is going to be a 12-minute game. 2-0 for Meta. Again, truly the new meta of NA.
Yeah, the King Killers showing out tonight. Meta with another dominating victory over the Black Bulls here. And what can you do to stop them? Let's take a look at this, the stats here. 31% damage on Mikasa here, 85%. Yeah, on a Linux there. I mean, it's amazing to see how coordinated, how well they've been doing it. And then 6. I don't even know what kind of points 6 gets, but I know Mobile Legends doesn't always pay the respect it needs to some of these roams. But man, 6 on that Diggy, I mean, the pinnacle, like just basically the top of where this team was for this comp, always there, always ready with that time journey. Man, it just a very crisp game again by Meta, who remains undefeated here in the North American Challenger Tournament.
It's interesting to see, right? Because obviously, yeah, Meta, they played really well in game number 2, but respect over to the Black Bulls as well, who were able to, I believe they performed better in game number 2. The draft, not so much, but they performed better, right? The way that they were able to counter, the way that they were able to rotate around Meta's playstyle, I can kind of see they're already progressing. But the thing is, I feel like they just kind of lost in that draft. Loaf, this playmaking roamer, wasn't really able to look for anything. Atlas, kind of a non-factor in this game when you have a Diggy on enemy team, and we saw that the entire game.
It was either I feel for them too, because maybe they noticed it too late, but it's like it's either take Atlas and have them pick up Diggy, or choose something else and still have Atlas open, move into the second banning phase where they ban Diggy. So I mean, a tough position for Black Bulls there, but an incredible game played by both. And man, Meta, I'm so happy. Meta just came so strong. Definitely answered those qualms, those comments about was it a fluke against them? No, they are a dominating force here in North America.
It's so weird. It's so weird to see Private Dancer because again, man, first day when I casted their Meta's game, right? It felt like a normal team, you know. It didn't feel like this dominant team that was able to just destroy everyone. Match against BTK, they progressed so much. They leveled up against their opponents, and in this match we can see again another version of Meta, maybe a more refined version, because they're showing off different heroes. We're not seeing the Eve, Xavier, no, we're seeing new heroes. We're seeing Valentina picked up Lunox as well from Mikasa, Sirius as well, expanding his hero pool on that Popo and Koopa. He's only played the Clint and Beatrix previously, so they're both adding up so many heroes onto their hero pools, and it's great to see. It's great to see that they're not just one-trick ponies.
Yeah, and then the versatility of it too, and bringing in that Estes for that first match too, and playing it precisely. I usually I get a little scared when I see an Estes on a team, because sometimes it doesn't always work out. It takes a very certain team. You have to play it a very specific way with your 5. You guys need to stay grouped. You need to be staying together. And I mean, what an amazing display there by them. Shades of Blacklist there, and they've shown like just how well they can kind of absorb Meta, take it in, and then output that into a victory against their opponents here. But man, such intense matches. But we're gonna bring that back to Assassin Dave, our host.
Whew. Meta, the Kingslayer, right? This is exactly what's going down right now. I think Meta's performance has surprised a lot of viewers, including myself. I gotta say, NA does bring us a lot of surprises. Every season, every new tournament, we always gonna have those, like, what do you call it, dark horse that come up and just destroy everybody, you know, bring a path of destruction along with them. It's actually quite enjoyable to watch those intense matches, and obviously the upcoming stars in North America. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some giveaways. Sorry about the technical issues in the beginning of the stream, but we have got that fixed, and you are now watching the questions of the day. Make sure to answer the questions with your Discord tag, tagged at the end of your answer. The first 10 people to answer the questions will receive, obviously the first question being already answered, you already know the answer. The second question is Team First Blood going to get the first blood today in the upcoming best out of 3? Answer that right now with your Discord tag along with the answer, and our moderators will be reaching out to the first 10 people to send out some codes so you can redeem with the link in description, get some special surprises from our developer. I think that's gonna be it for us. When we come back, we have some special giveaways. Somebody may say 100 diamond each. Yeah, it's worth 2 rich was diamonds. We're gonna give away everybody diamonds. The first 50 people that redeem the code, obviously. But we're gonna go ahead and give the codes when we come back from the break. So don't go anywhere. Get your popcorn, get your soda, get yourself comfortable. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. See you soon.
Starscream am now the leader of the Decepticons.
Do as I command.
Yes, yes, Master.
Less talk, more work. Autobot presence detected. Megatron, do you read?
I'll crush you with my bare hands. Autobots, roll out!
We'll give them the fight of their lives.
They must be terminated.
Prime told me there'd be days like this.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Join them in extinction! You wrong, and you ugly too! Dinobots, attack!
Decepticons, retreat.
You are a fool, Megatron. Starscream in pursuit.
Prioritize turrets. I've got morons on my team. You fail me yet again, Starscream.
Old friend, you kept this planet safe. You truly are a worthy Autobot. Good work.
Transformers!
won't let you die. Yeah, the game is more fun in co-op.
The M on its chest! That's the weak spot! By the way, I'm Wan-Wan.
Pleasure to fight with you, Wan-Wan. Call me Yin. Name's Link.
Congratulations, you have unlocked the bonus quest, Co-op Achieved. For the very first time, Emerald will grant you rewards that were never before seen.
Let's breaking the mirror. Peace out and word. It doesn't matter whoever, however, wherever. We got nothing more. You came from the shadow, she falls from the glow. Don't even need to know whoever we were before. We better than me, us better than me. Stay together, let it go. We better than me, us better than me. Stay together, let it go.
Nothing can stop them now. Not Leomord. Not even the mist.
An oath is an oath. Leomord won't leave us. We will fight together. Like 100 years ago.
For Richburg!
If this is our doom, I'll console myself we fought together. Necro Keep is where the light doesn't shine, they say. But we make our own light. We hold our ground!
Vexana, I did it!
Millions of millennia turn into this instant. You threat no one. To harmonize. For peace! A shift of space and time!
Dare to dream.
Well played to your new world champions of F1.
Rise to the challenge.
Red Esports are your F2 champions. Another world champion, Blacklist International.
The universe is yours. Are you ready to own the world?
Payback time. Feel my pain. I am driven by revenge. Nothing will stop my justice. Let us spread our wings. Nothing will stop my world!
Blind's eye. Deadlight spear.
Impressive!
I am back. My war never ends. Welcome. Get like
Legendary! Legendary!
Bleeding fury!
Double kill!
Don't get in my way. Mind your own business. I dreamed about all my fallen comrades.
Legendary!
Bleeding fury! I, Starscream, am now the leader of the Decepticons!
Do as I command.
Yes, yes, Master!
Less talk, more work. Autobot presence detected. Megatron, do you read?
I'll crush you with my bare hands. Autobots, roll out!
We'll give them the fight of their lives.
They must be terminated.
Prime told me there'd be days like this.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Join them in extinction! You wrong, and you ugly too! Dinobots, attack!
Decepticons, retreat.
You are a fool, Megatron! Starscream in pursuit!
Prioritize turrets. I've got morons on my team. You fail me yet again, Starscream.
Old friend, you kept this planet safe. You truly are a worthy Autobot. Good work.
Transformers!
I won't let you die. Yeah, the game is more fun in co-op.
The M on his chest! That's the weak spot! By the way, I'm Wan.
Pleasure to fight with you, Wan. Call me Yin. Name's Link.
Congratulations, you have unlocked the bonus quest, Co-op Achieved. For the very first time, Emerald will grant you rewards that were never before seen.
Let's breaking the mirror. This out emerald. It doesn't matter whoever, however, wherever. We got nothing no more. You came from the shadow, she falls from the glow. Don't even need to know whoever we were before. We better than me, us better than me. Stay together, let it go. We better than me, us better than me. Stay together, let it go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets alike, welcome back to the North America Challenger Tournament. I'm your host, Assassin Dave. Hope everyone's had a fantastic break. Yeah, we're back with a giveaway, 100 diamonds for first 50 players. Viewers who saw this code and redeem it with a link in description right now. If you live in North America, including United States or Canada, make sure to use the link in description and use the code shown on screen right now to get 100 free diamonds. Only the first 50 players will get the code. So do not miss your chance to get some extra diamonds for your next epic skin. With that being said, our next match is in preparation. We got quite a bit of stuff in store for you guys. I'm gonna quickly send over to our incredible casters desk featuring Mirko and Private Dancer. So make sure to follow them on the social media so you can see their Mobile Legend uploads as well as their future adventures on the Land of Dawn. So without further ado, let's send over to the casters desk.
Thanks for that, Dave. And man, I'm almost not, after that last match, I'm almost not ready for this next series coming up right now. But man, we're about to get into it right now, Mirko.
At this point, you know, throw all the expectations you have out the window, right? You expected BTK, you expected Area 77. It's the new era of NAMLBB right now. And right now, we are going to witness Team First Blood going up against Insomniacs. Again, we've seen both of these teams perform extraordinarily well here in NACT. But again, it's single elimination. One of them will be knocked out of NACT today.
Yeah, both of these. I mean, if you are a fan of NA, you definitely know these teams right now. Insomniacs, a veteran from NASL and NACT competitions right from the beginning. Team First Blood, relatively new on the scene, only a couple of months, but they've been so dominating since they got here so far. And especially seeing these two clash here tonight right now. But we are going to take it away with a special word from Team First Blood.
Prophecy here from Team First Blood. I just want to congratulate my team from reaching the top 8 of this NACT league, and to all of our supporters who stayed and watched through all of our games, I want to say thank you as well. I hope you continue to stay tuned of our upcoming games as we try to dominate NACT.
All right. Well, they're going to try to dominate NACT again. Wise words from the team captain for Team First Blood here. I like it, you know. Still very respectful, but they're confident. They're confident. That's what I like to see. And honestly, Team First Blood, they've been pretty dominant, especially with that Franco pick, man. Don't give him Franco as one of the highlighted things here.
Yeah, Joybaj been absolutely lethal with it. Franco on his own right now has jumped into the meta, has been such a harassing offensive pick for your team as a roamer. And I mean, and in the hands of Joybaj, you're gonna have problems. So definitely expect to see that there's gonna be a plan for it from Insomniacs here.
Well, we're going to jump in straight into the drafts right now. Let's see if Joybaj gets his Franco, or perhaps will it just be banned out straight in the first phase of the bans. Karina, though, already taken away by Team First Blood. Now, this is a pick that has been kind of, you know, it's been getting really popular these days, but I feel like there's just a lot of heroes that can counter her right now. I've been playing a whole lot of Karina when the patches dropped. Very broken, especially if you go to magic damage build, but now everyone is kind of already, you know, they've gone to counters. I've seen Amon just destroy Karina, Balman, Paquito as well. So seeing the Karina first ban is still pretty interesting. We'll see how it plays out for Team First Blood, but Insomniacs, though, they go for the Valentina. They know how how flexible the Valentina, the amount of versatility that Valentina gives over to a team is just insane. And we already see a Masha from Team First Blood.
Yeah, I feel like the Karina might have been more of a personal pick against Yeho, because he has been kind of really favoring that here, especially with the MVPs he's been getting on it. So definitely I'm more focused on Yeho rather than, like, I guess I agree. Karina does have a decent amount of counters, but I mean, what are counters when you have a very special person who's able to play that? We do see the Masha, that harassment, getting taken off the board, as well as Beatrix. And honestly, the last games that we didn't see Beatrix for the last series, which was kind of surprising because I consider her a very strong marksman, but now followed up by Team First Blood, taking Thomas off the board.
Yeah, heavy emphasis on the XP laners for Insomniacs, right? Team First Blood, they're banning it through. They're maybe trying to get the winning lane for their XP lane here in the first game, trying to play through that lane, maybe get a lot of that neutral objective control early on. But Insomniacs, you can already see, right? Their bans, Valentina, Beatrix, they hate flexible heroes. They hate versatile heroes that can, you know, shape and, adapt to the game really easily. So now for the last ban, are we going to see another mage ban, perhaps? Maybe a roamer, right? Again, Franco still up for grabs. We know how lethal Joybaj is. Franco gets left open. They ban the Esmeralda. 3 XP lane bans in the first phase as we look for this first pick. The Franco, not going to be picked up. It's another hero starting with the letter F. It's Faramis, the hero that you were actually pretty excited about.
Yeah, we've been seeing whispers of him in North America right now. I feel maybe it's been early. Like, it's too early to say it. I dare compare it to like that Estes pick, but man, just the way he's able to shape team fights. And right now it comes as a surprise when you jump onto the enemy team that does have a Faramis there. I mean, that's something that has to be on your mind, is that Cult Alter ultimate, basically a mobile immortality for your entire team, and man, we've seen it used to great effectiveness here so far in the Challenger tournament.
Well, we're already seeing the response though. Lethal counter from Bellman can be the answer here to execute the members maybe perhaps before that altar comes into play, and the Clint as well picked up for Insomniacs. We can already see why they banned out the Beatrix. They're trying to, you know, give some leeway, give some room for the Clint, but it is actually going to be the Claude pickup for Team First Blood. In that gold lane, up against the Clint, I actually still favor the Clint, right? Especially in that early game. If the Claude is able to actually farm up, it is going to be great, especially in that mid stage. But Uranus, another comfort pick here, coming through for the XP laner, for Luffy. He's played this once, right? His comfort pick is still Esmeralda, but we've seen it before from him. The Dyroth comes in as a counter towards the Uranus. What do you think about this, though? Because in my opinion, Dyroth counters Esmeralda, but not so much Uranus.
I mean, it depends on the players, because I have seen Dyroths pretty much go ham on Uranus. It just depends on how Luffy's going to be with getting those stacks, and if Galaxy can kind of get to him early enough before he's able to get all those stacks up, and then he's going to be able to regen out of the immense damage that Galaxy is going to be able to output onto him. But right here, what we're seeing from the side of Insomniacs is just burst, pure unadulterated burst coming out of them. Like, so if they focus, especially if their focus is on a Faramis, if their target callouts are on point, like, I mean, we're gonna be seeing heroes evaporated on the side of First Blood.
Yeah, it's a very good early game composition too, right? If you take a look at Team First Blood, they have a Uranus, they have a Claude scaling composition. They need to wait for that power spike to hit. Meanwhile, Insomniacs, they can get the ball rolling as fast as, you know, just as we enter into the Land of Dawn, they can get the ball rolling. Neutral objective control with the Dyroth in that XP lane with kill pressure. They also have that winning lane, in my opinion, on that Clint in that early stage of the game. But now we can already see from Joy Bodge, this is a question that I wanted to raise. Where is this Faramis going to go? But with that Franco ban, it kind of shows that perhaps this Faramis will go as a roamer in this composition. They might just pick up another mage, and because of that, Insomniacs, they read it through as well. They go for the ban onto the Sicilian, trying to nullify, trying to take away these mage heroes in that mid lane. They leave the Xavier open. The Lunox was actually banned by Team First Blood. They opt to go for the trade. You pick Yves, we pick Xavier. You pick Xavier, we pick Yves. Let's see if it gets picked up though. Wait.
Yeah. Oh.
Faramis mid.
Your team is
even crossed you over there with that one too. It crossed me as well. I definitely thought that was going to be a roam for Amos there, but apparently, you know, I don't even know what to think right now. I'm hoping Cho is going to be the roamer. That's the only thing that really makes sense for this composition right now. But it's I do like it. This is just the versatility that we're seeing from these teams, and the drafting, especially here in the top 8, is how well you don't really know what to expect. When you think one thing, they come out with something else, and we do see this Kufra being teased a bit, maybe as a counter, definitely to the Cho, to that Ling pick there as well. So I mean, I just love both of these drafts so far.
Yeah, I really like both of the drafts so far, but again, I'm kind of leaning towards Insomniacs, right? For Team First Blood, again, they need to get that ball rolling, but it's more towards the mid to late stage of the game, when the Claude has his items, when the Uranus has his items. The thing is, Insomniacs, if they get the pressure in the early stage, they can really just snowball into that mid stage and dictate the tempo of the game.
Yeah, and that's the problems when you go for these scaling compositions. You need something to be able to prop you up through that early game, or you're never going to see that mid game where you start to shine, where that cult altar is really going to help sustain with your heroes. So I mean, early game definitely looking for Insomniacs, but as we start inching more and more into the mid and late game, it's going to start favoring Team First Blood here.
Well, we'll see. Team First Blood or Insomniacs. It's all going to come down to the execution, just as you mentioned. And honestly, I'm going to be very hyped. I'm very hyped for this game. Faramis pick. I think this is the first time I've casted a Faramis game in the competitive scene. So we'll see how this goes. In my ranked games, this hero has been very annoying. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping into the game very, very soon. For game number 1, I want to ask you though, quick prediction, private.
Oh, I'm a fan of Team First Blood. I love Insomniacs. I love Insomniacs draft, but I'm just a fan of First Blood just because they came onto the scenes. They're the new guys on the scene, and they continue to surprise and impress me. Maybe not because of their draft right now, but I'm going to put it into Team First Blood.
All right, just to make things a little bit more feisty, spicy, I'll go for Insomniacs, right? So it's 1-1. You guys can also, send over some predictions in chat, why you think these teams will win, why you think your opinion is right, and we'll see. We'll see who gets to, who gets the right call here for game number 1, because again, this is going to be very interesting, considering that both teams kind of want a team fight, right? One has a lot of sustainability. Like you mentioned with the Fairness, he is going to like these prolonged fights. But if you take a look at Insomniac, their composition is kind of like that too. It's a little bit more flexible, right? Because they have a lot of burst, obviously, with Dairoth, with the Balman. They can just execute members here and there. The thing is, even if it goes to that prolonged fight, they also have a Clint, they have a Yves. They can go for these prolonged fights and they can win it out. So again, it's all going to come down to how they execute these team fights, how the game plan is onto the neutral objectives, right? And that's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, they play well against each other here too, because you're going to try to get Ashley on this Eve with the real world manipulation to kind of pin down everybody on the side of First Blood. But you have some very mobile heroes on the side of First Blood. Everybody there, everybody has a dash or a speed that they can use to try to get out of that. Maybe try to kite the team back so that when you're bursting people down, you're not able to land it onto one person. And honestly, once you get those bursts out, once you've used everything in your kit, you're kind of a sitting duck for them. So I mean, it's like we always talk about, like, it's execution. Both teams have great game plans here, and it's gonna come down to who can execute it better. And that's why I'm so impressed by these drafts, because it's two kind of like opposite sides of the coin.
Absolutely. The opposite sides of the coin, the dynamics that we are going to see in the game. Certainly going to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1, match number 2 of the day. We're jumping into that land of dawn to see this matchup. Now, speaking of the drafts, right, let's take a look at both of these teams. I want to actually point out that Insomniacs, they have a huge range advantage when it comes to these team fights, right? They have the Yves, they have the Clint, huge range. Meanwhile, Team First Blood, they're going to have to spend a little bit more of their resources to actually gap close.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, and it might be they're going to have to spend resources to gap close, but you do have Joybaj on that show, so it's going to come down. Oh, actually taking a pretty decent amount of damage, is going to be able to get away. But with Joybaj on this show, he might be able to kind of get in there and isolate a single member, and that might be what they're kind of banking on instead of trying to get their entire team to close in.
The timing as to how that happened, bro. I was literally reading a comment in chat about how someone was saying that, oh, why would you pick the Faramis over a Savior? Well, maybe the kill pressure that it has, it's very underrated, In the early game, if you get your combos in, yeah, Yves not gonna survive that easily. Sure, in the poking game, in the poking division, Ashley is gonna have a much better time in lane. But the thing is, if Hunter can gap close, it's gonna be huge for him, putting on that kill pressure. But yeah, in the early game, this is exactly how we expect it to play. Insomniacs with the Dairoth will be able to win out that lane. Regrets as well in that goal lane. He's gonna be able to withstand the pressure even without the help of his Dromer. But obviously, with the Ling rotating towards that top side, Dark has rotated as well here. He's trying to provide some cover, goes in for the bouncing ball. Kid, has to be very careful here. Taken to a quarter of his HP. Dark goes in for that charge, doesn't connect it just yet. Both teams still playing it really safe, but Insomniacs first onto the turtle.
Yeah, I mean, not able to make much happen up at the top, but they are kind of closing the distance here on this turtle to see if they're going to be able to get it.
Oh, even with the lethal counter, it's still Kid who gets that retribution. Dark, though, goes in for re-engage. Will be able to just, stun Joybaj out with the bouncing ball, canceling out his dashes. But with the Shunpu, he is unstoppable. He can get through that bouncing ball. And now we already see that, again, Team First Blood, they're in the lead, with the Faramis in the mid lane, clearing out the waves. With Joybaj going in, he gets away the Dragon Jikundo combo. Ashley forced to flicker out. They might be looking for the dive. They get it. That's the real world manipulation. Popped and canceled straight away. Kid jumps in with the Tempest of Blade. And that's why you pick Faramis. There you go. That's the answer.
And this is what I was talking about. Why do you need the engagement if you have the pole and the way of the dragon from First Blood? The combination of that just beautifully executed onto Ashley there.
It's so good. That was such a good combo by JoyBodge, right? He noticed and actually kind of reacted a little bit too late there. You can see it here again. Oh, meanwhile, though, wait a minute, the top side Dark, he actually gets a Tyrant's Rage onto 4 members, but the thing is, with that Cult Altar, that's the thing that you just mentioned. It's gonna be tough for him to survive these dives. Even under the turret, it does not matter. Early on, with that extra durability under the turret, it still doesn't matter. The Cult Altar gives more.
Yeah, it's just amazing. We're starting to see Team First Blood even here in the early game, which is where we thought that they were going to start struggling. Right now, they're still taking a commanding lead. And I fear that as we start moving into the mid to late game, it's going to be a little even rougher. But we do see an engagement here up at top.
Oh, Regrets getting pulled back into that blazing duet. JoyBodge with away the dragon. He didn't need to, but you know, it's fun. It's fun. He gets some style points. 2-0-2 on the roaming Cho. Meanwhile, in the mid lane as well, they're rotating so well. They're not letting Insomniacs trade anywhere on the map. You can already see Luffy. Once he clears out that bottom side, he goes into that mid lane, just helping his team. As we all know, Faramis with that maneuverability wants to rotate a lot, but now it is going to be Yeho who looks for the trade. He will be able to get it with the lethal counter this time around, so they're finally getting objectives on the board.
Yeah, and I feel like that first objective, that first turtle, maybe a bit of a misplay, kind of got into the mind. Oh, would you see Away of the Dragon up at mid?
Oh, Ashley again. He's gonna fall, and guess who gets the kill? It's still JoyBodge. Killing spree on this Cho. He might as well build damage at this point, but you can already see Kid now caught. He backs off though, still managing to do so. Doesn't get the orange buff. Yeho has that 1 level lead on him, but man, JoyBodge has been getting a lot of kills.
Yeah, and this is why I thought that this was a very interesting pick for JoyBodge, because using that show to be able to get in there, we are going to go ahead and take a look at the items here. We do see that that Demon Hunter Sword has already been finished off by Gina there. We're still waiting. Clint has gone ahead and picked up that Wind of Nature. So I do feel like the damage is more going towards the side of Claude right now, but we do see them kind of zoning him out and see putting a little bit more pressure now onto that gold lane is Insomniacs.
Very good rotation, honestly, right? From both of the teams. Insomniacs knowing that they need to start putting pressure on the lane. Now Dark goes in, and that's going to be the Cold Ultra. Oh, I was about to say that it wasn't popped just yet, but at first, just goes through it. JoyBodge, though, he goes up and away the dragon. G-Kundo flicker all around his Kid. Just takes all of the blades. They somehow find a trade off of that, and they don't lose out. They only lose out on Hunter there. But again, on this Faramis, very mobile. Is able to get back into lane very fast. Luffy, though, caught right now. Not going to be able to connect that Abyssum Strike. Galax, unfortunately, will not find that kill. It is still Luffy who gets out with the sprint and the consecration.
Who's the jungler here? Because right now JoyBodge is just a maniac out there with how he's able to get in and pick off, especially focusing on Ashley. It's just amazing right now what he's able to do as the roamer.
Well, we mentioned his Franco. We might have to mention his Cho next game. Dark going in. Tyrant's Revenge onto JoyBodge, who still has the Shunpu to get away. Gets Chunk really low. That's him taken down to 1/4 of his HP. They might not be able to go for this now as Yeho joins in the fray. He has the lethal counter to chain that Retribution with. Regrets also dealing a lot of damage. He's going to come down to the Retri battle. The Kid goes in. He gets pinned down by Dark. Taps the blades defensively to back away, but he gets all of the blades. The re-engage is here to blazing to it to the back lines, and Kid somehow still survives. Hunter will fall, but look at the damage from Gina Gone Mode. He almost gets a kill. More kills there, but it's only Dark who falls. 1 for 1. The turtle went to the hands of Insomniacs, so it is still them winning out in that trade.
Yeah, winning out in that trade, but man, I definitely saved themselves. You can see as Ling gets caught here, he is able to Tempest the blades away, and Gina gets caught up at the top, but is safely able to use that blazing duet to get out of the way. I don't even think they used Cult Altar here, and that's saying something for Team First Blood, is that they weren't even able to use Cult Altar and still able to take walk away from that fight with very little deaths on their side.
Yeah, and take a look at the items. Ling has hit his power spike with the Berserker's Fury. He's going to be able to dish out so much damage. And again, Joy Bodge on top of that goes in for the way the dragon. He almost gets taken down, but man, Kid and Gino to the rescue. The follow-up and that Berserker's Fury. You can already see the crit piling onto the members of Insomniacs.
Yeah, Gina able to use that blazing duet to get them dangerously low. The patience on top of Kid to wait to use that Tempest of Blades until they were about 10% health, and then a very easy cleanup job by him. Amazing combinations by First Blood, and had the synergy on them right now.
Oh man, again, you can already see again, Luffy goes in, he cancels out the recall with the Consecration. They might actually be turned, it might be turned here, but again, look at how they're able to just chain and just switch aggro with the turret so well to get that dive on Regrets. It feels so weird, and Kid, again, he's able to dodge away from the Tyrant's Revenge. He gets out, puts some pressure, takes some pressure from his team away, and puts it onto himself in the enemy jungle. All lanes winning. God Mode getting a solo kill against Galaxy, but he might, no, it's just a solo kill. I thought for a second there, the Galaxies might be able to turn it around with the Abyssum Strike. He doesn't even have it there. So, man, all lanes winning for Team First Blood.
Yeah, right now they are so dominant. Even like I was saying, that synergy that we were seeing from them. And right now, the gold lead being stretched out to about 3K. Not terrible, but right now, I mean, they're using every inch of this. Right now, they're even zoning them out. I mean, this Lord isn't even going to be contested because there's not much that Insomniacs can do. Joy Bodge is just, I mean, you cannot even be like caught out walking around because he's definitely going to be there. You see him jumping up like in here. Land the way of the dragon.
Yeah, again onto Yeho. No follow-up just yet, though, and that's going to be Galaxies who jumps in onto Luffy. That's a real-world manipulation as well, popped and used, but it's only onto Luffy. Luffy can get out of these situations pretty easily. Regen back up, no problem. Gina, though, this Cloud is gonna be a problem, man. He already had, like, he got that DHS very early into the game. He probably has the Golden Staff now and the Brute Force as well, adding on to that defense. This is gonna be a very, very scary Claude. Joy Bodge, though, again, such a menace. Just him, he's always finding these plays. He actually, with that play, is able to bait out the Flicker away. Joy Bodge looking for another one, goes in for the Jeet Kune Do. With that, he is able to zone everyone away from that turret. Bottom side siege starting as God Mode. Gina God Mode goes for it and takes out the tier 2.
Just the fear you see from Insomniacs as you see that Jeet Kune Do skipping towards them. They're like, all right, everybody back up because this dude is going to come in and latch onto somebody. But man, right now, there's very little that Insomniacs can do. They have to play safe. They have to kind of split up to take out these lanes because right now, this is all First Blood. And this is what I was talking about when you come with this burst. The early game was going to go to them, but you have to catch them. And this team is so mobile. Oh my God.
Again, Joy Bodge goes in, but look at Dark. He goes in for the follow-up, is able to get a Tyrant's Rage onto 2 members, but doesn't even matter. Kid comes in with a Tempest of Blaze. He gets a double. He's looking for the triple, but Joy Bodge doesn't give it to him. God Mode, he goes in for the Battle Mirror Image. The Wind of Nature finally there by Regrets, used to survive, trying to outplay, but the damage is just not enough from Regrets to take Gina down. And at this point, again, it's still all Team First Blood on top of that huge engage. They still weren't able to find more than just one trade.
How many times have you seen a Claude be able to stand toe-to-toe with a Clint in a duel off there? That just tells you how far ahead that First Blood is right now. And look at this. You see that Cold Altar coming out to sustain on to Team First Blood here. There's not much that Insomniacs are able to do, even when they have, like, the greatest setup there.
Man, like... You know, I want to give props to Ling, but right now, Joy Bodge has a better KDA, right? So he's doing so much for the team. He goes in once again, but he might be punished here. Dark goes in for Time's Rage, and that's the Abyssum Strike to follow it through. Doesn't connect just yet. Lethal counter onto the backside. His Kid jumps in, and that's the combo. Wombo, Regrets falls. Dark as well. Yeho is next, and that's all of the kills going over again to Team First Blood. Obviously, in true Team First Blood manner, Joy Bodge has to take a kill away, right? He's still he's 6 kills. He's still leading.
Have to pay that Joy Bodge tax in these team fights to take away that kill there, as they are going to focus on that Lord. But man, that team fight, a perfect setup again by Insomniacs that surprised Tyrant's Rage into the corner here. Look how great he's able to set this up, Isdark, with the real world manipulation coming down. But then that Colt Alter comes out and Kid into the back line with all that damage. And this team fight turns dangerous and bad for Insomniacs.
Yeah, Claude, unkillable. Uranus, unkillable. Even Kid at this point. So squishy. He actually decides to go. He opts to go for the Scarlet Phantom. Let's see how that plays out. So far, he's still on 0 deaths, even without any defensive items. But look at that. Real world manipulation can be popped there to clear out the way. It's Kid jumping in. Gonna get canceled out by the bouncing bomb, but the Colt Alter and him flickering forward, bringing Ashley back. Abyssum Strike finds one. Galaxy is able to flicker out. Regrets going in, using the Wind of Nature to survive, and that's a 1 for 0. 1 for 1, technically, if you count the turret. Team First Blood still getting the favorable trade. They only lost Faramis in that fight.
Yeah, and then very smartly, as soon as they lost Faramis, disengaged right away. They got what they came for. They got a turret, and their job there was done, as they're going to go ahead and kind of reset on the map to make sure that the pressure can still keep that pressure onto Insomniacs here. Joybosh 6-0-10 right now. It's amazing how well these guys are doing against a veteran team like Insomniacs.
I'd usually, you know, if my roamer takes that many kills, I'd usually be pretty pissed. But if you keep making those kind of plays, you know, I'm all right. It's all right. You know, I gotta pay that tax, right? So it's fine. And again, look at how he's positioning. He's just such a menace. He's going to bait out so many more battle spells. We already saw the flicker burned from Ashley, I think 3 minutes ago, and that was that big. That, you know, basically kind of pinned Ashley down. And again, Joybotch going in. Where the dragon bringing Yeho back? He just finds it at will, and Kid comes in to follow it through. Yeho caught low. Colt Alter as well was popped. So Kid, he can just go in, dive. He doesn't care without any defensive items. He's godlike. Hunter bringing regrets back. The Wind of Nature cannot save you because Joybotch is there to just zone you out. He will not even die. That's the first game secured by Team First Blood. 1-0, as dominant as ever.
I mean, as crisp as I thought the last series was, what an amount of synergy from Team First Blood here. The execution, how they came at these matches, led by Joybaj. The openings that he was creating with the Jeet Kune Dos and into the way of the dragon to separate Ashley. First, it was starting on Ashley. Only 2 kills you saw that he was able to put onto her. But then, as we started progressing more, you started seeing Faramis start taking off. That Colt Alter being primed, basically luring in and baiting Insomniacs into these fights that they thought they would be able to win. Boom, Colt Alter comes out, team is topped off immediately, and then the fight immediately turns into the favor of First Blood.
Joybotch, just Joybotch, bro. Like, oh my god, that was such a good game by Joybotch. Like, yeah, sure, MVP here is Gina God. So much pressure. The Blazing Duet obviously was so well timed as well with the Colt Alter. I think everyone played their part though, right? But there is one standout, and I feel like it was Joybotch. This guy was a straight up menace, man. If you're not gonna have fun if you're up against him. Ban Franco, yeah, maybe ban Cho next game, because at this, let's just ban him, right? So today we've learned 2 things. Let's ban Mikasa, and maybe this game let's ban this guy.
Yeah, it's amazing how well it was too, especially when I love seeing great shows, especially when you're going with those flicker pop-ups that he can do with the Jeet Kune Do and the flicker into a way of the dragon. It's something, I mean, it's almost impossible to play against because of the ground that he can cover. And this is what we were saying for here, that burst versus that disengage, the mobility on the side of First Blood. It was an amazing comp by them. And my only question is, like, is this something that they came up with on the fly as the draft came out? Or is this something that they've been practicing? Well, it's obviously something that they've been practicing, because I mean, you don't play like that with that type of synergy with all of those characters, how they were able to juggle tower aggro. They were dancing in that tower for they were dancing in that tower for a while, and the tower just kind of picking one of them at a time, and still able to pick up the kill. So I mean, man, amazing job by First Blood.
It was very impressive, right? Like on a micro standpoint, on the macro standpoint, again, I'm just so impressed. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a few words from Team Insomniacs captain.
This is Ashley, mid laner and team leader of Insomniacs. I just want to say huge thank you to everyone that's been supporting our team throughout the league. And a personal message to my team. You know I love you guys, no matter how stupid you guys could get. I know we can make it big throughout whatever MLBB takes us, but we hope to see you guys in the finals. And if you guys want to go check out our Instagram, it's Insomniacs MLBB.
Go check them out, ladies and gentlemen, on Instagram. There you go, Insomniacs MLBB. That was Ashley, the team captain in that first game on the Eve. We expected her to get a lot of pressure in the mid lane, but no one expected the Fairness to put on so much kill pressure, especially in that early stage. I think that first level fight kind of sealed the deal in the mid lane.
And it not just about, I mean, Insomniacs, a bad game for them just because they got countered. But I mean, I want to put out there that, I mean, this wasn't because Insomniacs played bad. It's just that Team First Blood played better. And it just, the way that they were able to, was able to just dominate there. And that's what happens when you play your composition precisely, when you know your win conditions and you execute it faster. Unfortunately, those games look like rollovers when even if the other team has a decent strategy but kind of gets outdone or outpicked, I guess I want to say.
Yeah, I think the draft has been a very huge factor, and that, just as we mentioned it, we're going to jump straight into the draft of game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, here, Beatrix, still, again, the ban and the Valentina. So Insomnia, even after going now swapping over to the blue side, they're still going for the same bans, Beatrix, Valentina, but we're already seeing something different from Team First Blood. They go for the Karina, which is pretty same, it's literally the same, but the Fairness ban, so they're respecting their own pick. They know how strong this could be, but the Ling respect comes through from Insomniacs. No more Ling for you, kid.
Well, and honestly, that was a great composition by them. Both of the characters were able to feed into each other. I just wonder what we're gonna do if we're still gonna be able to see a Cho. I mean, Cho worked very well, but it kind of played into the mobility of the rest of the team. Cho was able to get in very fast and get in deep, but the rest of the team was able to follow quickly as well and collapse on them, and that's kind of what made it so dangerous. But when you take out Ling and potentially maybe taking out Cho here, I feel like we're gonna have to go for possibly a different composition here.
Yeah, we might see a different style already. We're already seeing a little bit of a different in Insomniacs draft. They go for the first pick, Esmeralda, and for Team First Blood, they want to just counter it straight off now with a Dyrod pick for themselves. They can just pick it up here, getting some extra pressure in that lane, some kill pressure, but they can just go for the same, right? They can go for Uranus. Uranus Esmeralda is a lane we've seen multiple times. They can just go for the Balman here, and they will just lock it in with the Lunox, which is surprising. We haven't seen the Lunox a lot, but today we've seen it twice.
Yeah, it's starting, especially as we're moving up here into the top 8. The counter, especially going into an Esmeralda, I do like the Lunox pick. Esmeralda, basically one of the favorite picks for Galaxy here too as well. I believe he's used it already 4 times in the Challenger tournament already. So definitely a comfort pick for him. And then we do see Akai, Yeo picking up that Akai, which, I mean, personally, I feel like Akai has kind of fallen off, but I've seen the rest of these teams, how they execute and how they use him has been masterful. So definitely going to be a great disengage tool for his team.
I was rooting for Insomniacs the first game, and now it's, I'm still rooting for them. 1-1, let's go. 1-1 pick for Regrets. That's my hero, man. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about the 1-1. 1-1 wasn't banned in the last 2 games. Yeah, I mean, like, game 1, we didn't see the 1-1 ban at all. Game 2 as well. I can't believe I forgot about 1-1. Well, she's picked now in the first phase by Regrets. Yeah, Insomniacs, let's go.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need to see an answer for that Wan because, I mean, she's one of those heroes, just like Valentina, that you cannot just give her up, especially for people who are as skilled as Regrets is onto it. I mean, it's basically a broken hero that you're talking about there, but man, this is what we were talking about at the beginning. Joybaj on this Franco.
Well, you know, we didn't even expect the Cho. We've never seen the Cho. And it's that scary. Now that we are expecting the Franco, right? How scary is it going to be? Okay, we're just going to have to see how this plays out, because obviously Insomniacs has a lot of disengage, right? If they can get a good hook, it's going to be good. But the thing is, if they get a hook onto 1-1, second ability is always there. If you get a hook onto the Akai, I don't think that's going to be ideal. Heavy Spin can actually just, you know, turn that pick around towards the favor of Insomniacs.
It's going to come down to how fast-fingered Joybaj is with this Franco. Because, I mean, you catch the hook onto a Wan, whatever, she goes ahead and second skills out of it. You catch it onto Esmeralda, you're going to be able to do enough damage with Hunter, with this Lunox and this Belmont to be able to, like, one-shot her. You catch it onto an Akai, you're definitely going to have to turn on that Bloody Hunt to suppress him down. And you're still going to be able to burst him down. So I do like this coming out of them, because if he does, it depends on how fast and how well these hooks are going to be placed and how the team reacts to who gets hooked. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing here for this next match.
Well, let's see. Team First Blood, they have banned the Yves. So already there was some respect here towards Ashley. That we saw the Yves in the first game because of the Cho. That, you know, Yves wasn't really able to do anything, right? The real world inflation was always canceled either by the Ling, or the Cho. But now, wow, Irithel comes through. I think Irithel is actually a solid counter against the 1-1. It's very good, especially in that early phase, level 1 to 3. Once 1-1 gets her ultimate, though, it might be it becomes a little bit more, you know, skill based, right? But you can already see the Lilia picked up for Ashley, and also that Grok for Dark in that roam position. So this is the composition for them. Very good front to back composition. Honestly, with the 1-1 as well, they can, you know, target, go for that back line really well with the crossbow Tang.
Yeah. North America right now has been changing my mind about Irithel, because I'm going to tell you, like, I was not a believer when I first saw her. Her range is so short, and it does take her a little bit to kind of get up to a point where that heavy crossbow is doing enough damage to really warrant how close she needs to be. But we do, I mean, I've seen her be so successful, especially when you have such a great front line in front of you to distract the opponents while you're able to dish out all of that damage. So it's going to be a really interesting to see how these picks, how these comps kind of go into each other.
It's another very interesting game here as we take a look at the compositions one more time, right? It's all going to come down to the execution, I believe, here. Both of the teams have solid picks. It's you know, it's always like this, right? When both of the teams draft so well, it's all going to come down to the execution. And ladies and gentlemen, will we finally see a 2-1? You know, maybe see a full best of 3 series here. We're going to see if that can happen. Insomniacs, though, they need to get a win right here, right now. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. Joybaj already putting some pressure down below. Regrets might be baited into this. Gina already in range for that first ability. Regrets needs to be very careful here, but Joybaj gets spotted out. He walks out of the bush, and just like that, Dark will rotate down below as well to provide some safety, some backup for Regrets.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting maybe a little bit of harassment from Franco, but very smartly going to go ahead and make sure that he's constantly down here for Team First Blood. Make sure that Regrets has all the pressure so that he's not able to get up there. We do see that hook going a little wide as First Blood is kind of backed up a little bit, and a possible gank coming in here with Ashley on the side.
Yeah, this is something that we need to note down, right? Insomniacs with Lilia in the mid lane is going to be having a lot more pressure, but wait a minute, Joybaj gets the hook onto Dark. That's the hook that we were waiting for. Kid just goes in for the gold buff first, goes into the enemy jungle, picks up maybe a creep here. Yep, he will be able to just take it away, and that's level 4 picked up by Kid just as he finishes up this camp. Ultimate already secured by Kid up top as well. We're already seeing Yeho look for a gank. Heavy Spin is going to be ready, but the Vengeance will be popped. Heavy Spin angle not just available just yet. He pops it in. They won't be able to go for the dive here. Luffy maneuvers himself out of that gank.
Yeah, they're bringing him a little low, both XP laners low, so they're going to both kind of be in the same boat as this Turtle's going to be coming. Oh, but a major hook landed on the Regrets.
Yeah, this might not actually be good for them though, because it's actually Regrets who turns it around with the Inspire. Joybodge gets the hook, but doesn't get to capitalize on that. Gina though, dealing so much damage, and this is exactly why the 1-1 kind of struggles against the Irithel. We're already seeing some requests for a pause, so we are going to just chill out a little bit. Let's talk about how the game has gone in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, right now, I mean, neither team, both a heavy focus from both teams onto the gold lane right now. I feel like this is where they're going to be leaning onto it. We do see a couple of hooks. We're already seeing the punishment for Franco landing those hooks onto the wrong person. Landed it on Juan, immediately inspired, able to use that second ability to get out and create some space, and almost able to take down Franco there. So, I mean, you're gonna really have to consider and making First Blood consider who you land these hooks on and how you're going to run this. And I mean, it might even come down to a point where we're just going to have to kind of lean very heavily onto that bloody hunt to take somebody to kind of dive in there, get that bloody hunt to kind of isolate these players.
Absolutely, and honestly, it's very interesting to see the fact that, again, right now the stakes are as high as ever, right? They're not just fighting for their tournament lives, but they're also fighting for that cash reward. Remember, right? This is the battle for top 4. If they qualify, if they win, they will basically secure a cash prize for themselves. So let's see who gets it. Once again, with the pressure stacked against both of these teams, Yeho will be able to take that gold buff. They have the control over the turtle here. Kid though, he's looking for a steal. Heavy spin being popped by Yeho, maybe a little bit too early, as that heavy spin won't last that long. Kid now looking for the steal, will not be able to get it, as that's gonna be the retribution coming through from Yeho, and instantly the wild charge as well to follow it through. Yeho picks up first blood, Kid falls.
Yeah, and we do see Franco and them going ahead and trying to peek down at this bottom. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get anything, but what we are, the biggest thing right now, a Kai into this Belmont. And this is what the kind of matchups I hate when I use Belmont, is having a Kai on the other team. Because that dash ability does pop up Belmont, negating that huge spin, which is basically the core of the damage that Belmont can do to get them ready for that ultimate, the huge damage that he can do there. So, I mean, they're having a little bit of problems right now, especially with the shutdowns that they're able to do at these objectives.
Yeah, we can already see though the difference already in the mid lane, right? Ashley on this Lilia, we're already seeing how she's able to control even the composure in a 2v1 this time, without a choke, without that fair miss kill pressure. Lunok's early game gonna lose out against Lilia, so she's much more comfortable in this mid lane, winning it out, winning in the trades, and very confident in these fights. Meanwhile though, bottom side, Joybodge looking for the suppression, goes in with a bloody hunt, but the wild charge instantly cancels it out. Joybodge getting pinned, but there's no damage to follow it through. It is actually still going to be Dark who picks it up. Gina now caught in the bad situation, needs to run away, will not be able to, as Yeho finds another lethal counter, going to be used by Kid to pick up a kill. Is going on to Dark. Ashley looking for the trade onto Hunter, but Kid is there as well. Hunter needs to use the ultimate here, but it's going to be the black shoes pop just there. Falling Star Moon onto under the turret towards Hunter to pick up the kill, as that's a 2-for-2, 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe the synergy we saw from Team First Blood, I'm seeing that from Insomniacs right now, as they're able to come down, especially with these fights that last a little longer than they should. You start seeing Galaxy coming in, they're able to tower dive into Hunter in them and to get that kill off of them, but now we are fighting for this next turtle.
See, once again, Falling Star with his zone away the members. That's gonna be Gina though, looking for the steal. He doesn't get it. He's gonna get punished for it. The sprint, no, the Purify was used, but you cannot dodge away from the wild charge. That's a knock-up. Gina gonna fall there in the bottom side river, as Insomniacs try to convert on these objectives down below. With the help of Galaxy, they might be looking for a dive. Hunter goes in, Bloody Hunt comes through. Joybodge dealing a lot of damage with the help of Hunter, brings Galaxy's back under the turret, but will not have enough damage to take him down. Meanwhile, top side, Kid needs to dash out, gets out, Regrets unable to connect onto that first ability, as it is most probably going to be the lethal ones or secure. Wait a minute, Regrets though, he goes in a little bit too deep, gets punished for it. Both teams disengage.
Yeah, right now Regrets has just finished that Corrosive Scythe. We're going to take a look at this replay here and look at, even with that suppression on, Joybosh getting taken down, and then watch as Esmeralda is going to come up here from the back, all the way from the mid lane, because this fight lasted so long, able to kind of come back down here, maybe not anticipating how much damage they could do or how fast they were able to finish this off, but Galaxy in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, 1 HP. Let's see if he can survive this dive. He goes over the falling star with, but Hunter picks up the kill. Oh, just one more basic attack, I think, would have taken Hunter down to secure a 1-for-1. They do trade turrets top side for bottom, but it is a 2-for-0 in terms of kills. Team First Blood coming back into the game, actually kind of equalizing in the gold, only behind by 500 as we take a look at the items here in the 6th minute mark.
Yeah, we do see that Corrosive Scythe has been picked up by Wanwan, but on the other side, Irithel has already picked up that Windtalker. So I mean, I feel like both marksmen on the same path, same amount of gold, same kind of amount that they can do here. It's just I fear Wanwan more because of the range and that crossbow at Tang. Oh, just shy of that hook was Joybosh for this turtle fight.
Barely connecting there, but with Kid here on the lethal, on the Balman with the lethal counter. Again, that's just so much pressure on the neutral objective. Joybosh throws the hook away. Bloody Hunt onto the roamer. The wild charge comes in and Joybosh will fall. Hunter taken low, but no one else is there to be taken down. Insomniacs, once again, they lose out on the objective, but they pick up the kill. And just like that, they're able to still hold on to that gold lead.
Yeah, only about a 400 or 500 gold difference between these two right now, and such an even game. But I feel like as we're starting to get later and later into this game, Esmeralda's getting tankier, Wanwan's putting on more damage and becoming much more dangerous, but Luffy in trouble here.
Yeah, even with Vengeance, he is going to get bursted down. The crossbow of Tang there, but Yeho is the one who picks up the kill. This is a Panda with 3 kills right now, and he's extremely tanky. You can see the HP bar on him, man. I think it's getting very tough to look for a kill onto him, and look at the pressure that Galaxies is able to soak in that mid lane. 4 of the members of Team First Blood were looking for a trade into that mid lane turret, but yeah, I mean, Galaxies with the sprint just so fast to rotate into that mid lane, but wait a minute, Joybosh might, no, he doesn't go for the Bloody Hunt.
No, he's not. And Galaxy, this is what I was saying, Galaxy getting so tanky now at that point where he can start basically zoning out the entirety of First Blood while we're going to be waiting for Wanwan to just get those weakness stacks and turn on the damage with that crossbow of Tang. And we already see the items. We do see that Ice Queen wand being finished up by Ashley, but on the other side, Linux, I mean, still kind of trying to hang in there right now. But as we get later on, I feel like this is going more into Insomniacs. Big fight up at top though.
Oh, they dive onto the tanky member again. That's one of the frontliners. Yeho gonna fall as well. That's Galaxies and Yeho taken down. Joybosh bringing Dark all the way under the turret as Hunter dishes out the damage. Conceal canceled away. Kid now looking to dish out the damage to clear to get the kill onto Dark, but they don't need to, overcommit onto this. The Lord is up. The Lord is ready, and it's pretty much free right now. 7 seconds on the retribution. Kid will have it for this Lord. Yeho still 7 seconds away from respawning. Insomniacs doesn't have an answer, and that is the turnaround. Team First Blood, they secure the gold lead with the Lord and the 2 picks in that topside river.
Yeah, a great play by them. And I was just about to say, like, you need to start transitioning. You need to transition these kills into something. And they did that right away. As soon as they got those kills, all the members immediately beeline. No hesitation, no trying to consider what they were doing. Great leadership by them there. And you could see this. It was basically all Insomniacs. And now we are starting to see First Blood come back as Joybosh was able to land that hook onto like one of the key members of Insomniacs. And we do have a concealed play here.
Oh, Dark getting chunked there. Goes in for Wild Charge, trying to open up there, but the weakness points was not popped at all. Meanwhile, top side, turret taken down. Bottom side, Lord marching down. Team First Blood have a lot of openings here to look for objectives. Let's see how they utilize this. Luffy already jumping in, opening up the map for the team as Dark will be forced out of his own jungle. Mid lane turret already going to be the target for Team First Blood as the bottom side will be cleared out by Insomniacs. Only 2 members left to defend in the mid lane. The hook almost nearly connects onto Galaxies, but Insomniacs, they defend quite well. They're able to minimize the losses here.
Yeah, and they make that value, that Lord, kind of undervalued there. They didn't get a lot out of it, did First Blood. We see Grok, poking a little closely to them. Still in a sizable lead. I want a 1.5K. I wouldn't call it sizable. a lead. I think this is only just numbers right now. Yeah, it's a lead. Not much happening out of it. 1K is not that much at 11 point, but no, Joy Boss.
Oh, Dark, he gets bursted down though, and kind of assist him with the escape on the heavy spin there, but the falling Simon now catching 3, that's gonna be regrets, opening it up, he gets all the weakness points, the crossbow of Tang is ready, he pops it, but only onto Luffy, who has the vengeance. Gina dealing out so much damage on the Yeho, Luffy soaking it in, will be taken down in the end by Ashley, but she will be caught. Gina in the back line, still able to pick up a double kill here as Regrets just kites away, but it is a 4-for-3 trade for Team First Blood. Hunter can burst Regrets down. Let's see if he goes for it. Regrets still able to maneuver around. Just 2 more weakness points here, but he's so low. Lethal counter to follow it through, but it is going to be Hunter who gets punished under the turret by Dark. Again, both teams trading.
Yeah, definitely punishing Regrets for lingering there, trying to clean up those minions. You can see in this fight, back and forth. You see Joy Boss was the first one to go down, and that, unfortunately, that crossbow of Tang, I feel like onto the worst member possible. They were able to take Luffy down, but it cost them a lot of damage there. And then you can see here, we cut away too quickly, but that kill onto Wanwan for lingering, basically a punishment for lingering around that tower. They were able to use that brilliance into a lethal counter to take down Wanwan.
Very, very good combo there. But again, Luffy jumps in, opening up the map. Yeho zoned out, has the heavy spin. They're still holding on to their resources here as Ashley dishes out the damage. Meanwhile, Wanwan gonna get bursted down, almost taken down there. But look, Joybot, he's caught. He goes to the bloody hunt onto the Wanwan. He might be able to get the kill, but no, that's the weakness points all pop. He might be able to go for it, but Luffy and Gina goes in. Yeho pins Luffy down, but still with a vengeance, it is not possible to take him down. Team First Blood win out in the trade again. They lose out their mid laner, but they still have their marksman to deal the DPS onto the Lord. Galaxy's taking so much damage from Gina, and that's a free Lord going to the hands of Team First Blood. Meanwhile, Luffy just dealing out so much damage in the back line there, zoning these members away, but Team First Blood, they don't want to overcommit, they don't want to overextend, they rotate to the top side, but maybe, no, Dark doesn't go for the wild charge.
Oh, I thought that hook landed onto a character. But man, Regrets sadly got a little too eager, way in front of his team, allowed Luffy to kind of get the jump on him at that mid bush, and that I think was the turning point right now in this last fight for First Blood. You just have to be a little bit more careful, especially on a Wanwan, with how fast and how bursty Team First Blood is here right now at this point in the game.
Well, let's see what happens. Once again, Joy Podge tries to look for that Iron Hook. That's going to be the Lord taken down, actually, in the top side. And they lose another layer of turrets, but they're actually still able to defend quite well. They don't lose any of the base turrets, but Dark gets hooked in. That's going to be suppression as well. The damage comes in. Hunter just deletes him from the game with the help of the lethal counter as well. Gina, God mode, is God mode right now. Able to kite away from Yeho, who isn't able to dish out the damage properly and wasn't able to look for the heavy spin onto anyone. That's a 1-for-0 trade, and Team First Blood once again come out on top.
Yeah, what a great kite, because that took Yeho away from the team. With that heavy spin, he wasn't... Oh my God, a big fight here at mid.
Oh, but it's under the turret though. Let's see. It's still going to be Regrets kiting away so far back. Hunter gets baited into the enemy turret and will fall here to the hands of Galaxies. But wait a minute, he's still able to sustain for a little bit more. Dark picks up the kill. Luffy's still able to back away. It is a 2-for-2. And again, this still favors Insomniacs now, because they weren't able to get any turrets here. I mean, Team First Blood weren't able to get any turrets in this base. We can take a look at the items once again as we enter the 15th minute of the game.
Yeah, we do see Scarlet Phantom and Wind of Nature now being picked up for Regrets. They're going to be able to kind of negate, outlast a little longer to find those weakness stacks, but it's going to take the target priority. Who are you focusing on as well? And we were talking about it before as well, being kind of a misplay, I want to say. Yeho diving far deep into the back line of First Blood, which kind of allowed Gina Godmode to run away, kite him really far back, and they had no disengage, did Insomniacs for that fight. Sadly, though, now they weren't able to get a lot of value out of that. Oh, big fight coming out of the bottom.
Yeah, that's gonna be a pick. Easy pick for Team First Blood. Beautiful conceal there, popped by Joybodge to look for that. Very, very good targeting. Because of that, it's a 4v5, and look at the timers, man. That's 30 seconds on the clock. Gina God Mode is actually pushing in, and no one's there to respond. He's gonna be able to dish out a lot of damage. No, just a little bit of poke onto that base. Meanwhile, top side, that's a kill already going to the hands of the 1-1. Regrets has the crossbow of Tang. Will just wait it out. He actually uses it onto Joybodge, which isn't really the right target in my opinion, and that's gonna be the bloody hunt popped and used. Godlike secured by Kid as they look for more. Ashley will fall. It's a double kill picked up only for Joybodge's immortality. And again, Team First Blood, they walk out on top in this trade. Insomniacs losing 2 of their crucial damage dealers right before the Lord, as Yeho tries his best to make it on to the Lord. He goes for the heavy spin, trying to look for the damage here. Retribution battle, not gonna be one. It's Luffy who picks it up. No retribution, no problem. Joybodge hooks Dark back in and pops him, suppresses him with the bloody hunt for Gina Gamo to pick up that double kill. And Team First Blood now with a huge gold lead. They're looking for the end.
Yeah, and man, Gosu Regrets able to get up those weakness stacks. Oh yeah, we can see here at this Lord fight as they come in here, the pop up onto Kid. It's just when you're making these fights, especially without your main damage dealers. I mean, maybe this wasn't the best fight to take. I know they wanted to try to counter that, but is that really the smartest play with your main damage dealer down? Especially, you have to choose your targets correctly here. Joybodge is definitely not the one you're going to want to go for.
Absolutely, man. It was a tough one to call, but again, Joybodge with a hook finds one. The wild charge though connecting on to 2 members. Regrets jumping in with a wind of nature, but he gets popped in. No, he was hitting Luffy with a blade armor, and he will fall. That's Gina Godmo still surviving on top of all of that, and this is looking like a disaster. It's a 2 for 0 right now. Gina Godmo still able to kite away from Galaxies. It goes into the fall each time, but look at Gina still able to kite away with a monster kill picked up. Hunter jumps in, dishing out damage onto Ashley. It's a 1v5, and Ashley will not be able to survive this one. It's another 2-0 clean sweep for Team First Blood.
Victory!
Amazing match. I wouldn't call it countered by the draft, but the item selections. Who could, like, Wan who were you gonna choose to put that ult onto it? If Gina God Mode was not in range, who were you gonna choose? You're gonna choose Joybodge, where he's gonna tank the entire amount of damage, and then now it's like, all right, well, Luffy was there, let's try him. He answers back with that blade armor and that vengeance. Regrets basically was gonna be bursting himself down, and you saw that just taken down so low that as soon as he came down from that crossbow tang, immediately taken out.
Oh, it was so tough for the 1-1, right? Like you said, this game is very, very tough for the 1-1. You can't go on the Lunox because of the brilliance. Tamas, that's a big no-no with the vengeance. You can take so much of that damage. Joybodge as well. At this point, Kid too, right? The only target you can look for is probably just Gina, but he's so far back in these team fights, and at one point he actually had a win in nature, so it's almost impossible for this 1-1 to dish out the damage properly onto the right members, right? Because who is the right members? But right now, man, it's another 2-0, and this game, I'm gonna have to give it over to Gina, right? Joybodge on the Franco was lethal. Luffy played well, very well. Kid as well, but Gina kind of stole the show with the positioning, the maneuverability in these team fights.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, the other, I felt like Franco, all right, had a little bit of trouble in the beginning, and it kind of coming into the same problems that Wan had. Who's your target? Who are you hooking into your team? Because we saw a lot of those hooks kind of turned against them, as a matter of fact. Balmon's doing his best to kind of macro up, get the gold that he needed, and even Hunter kind of held still at mid lane there. But eventually, and man, I've said it, like, they're making me a believer in Irithel's and what she can do here, especially with that one team fight where you saw Yeho dive into the back with that heavy spin, but could not connect onto Irithel as they kited him all the way back. And I feel like that was a very pivotal moment because it allowed the rest of Team First Blood to kind of collapse onto Insomniacs without any disengage there, which is what they were kind of banking on with that Akai pick.
And that's what's interesting, right? The Franco pick, what we thought it should be kind of like a pick style composition from the side of Team First Blood, it actually didn't really function as a pick. It functioned as a kind of a bait, right? Whenever he goes for the hook, the enemy team, Insomniacs, they're forced to go for the engage. We saw multiple times this was used in that same way. Sure, sometimes they were actually able to use the Franco to pick, like in the bottom side where Galaxies was picked off by the Franco who used the Bloody Hunt. But in that last team fight we saw, that was the perfect usage of this hook. Goes in onto Galaxies, not a prio member, but because of that, you're kind of forced to go in, right? If you don't help Galaxies falls, you don't have another solid front line to back up Ashley and obviously Regrets on the 1-1. And because of that, they're just forced to go in against a team who's so far ahead, they didn't even lose a single member in that team fight.
Oh man, I am so excited too, especially with First Blood moving on alongside Meta. That's going to be an amazing match. But we are going to be, it's been a great night here, guys. I mean, amazing, great matches. Morning for Mirko, night for me, but man, amazing matches all around. But man, we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to the host, Assassin Dave. Good night, y'all.
All right, guys, welcome back to the host desk. What an incredible game, an incredible cast. Make sure to follow our wonderful casters, Mirko and Private Dancer, as they will continue their journey on the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to an end for the knockout stage of NACT. Tomorrow we'll have one last stage to determine 2 more winners going to the top 4, the final stage, which all the games are going to be best double eliminations, best out of 3, and our grand finals will be best out of 5. Tomorrow we have some of the favorite teams in North America region. New Wave, Anarchy, The Valley, Team Sexy, all the familiar names are going to be played out tomorrow, and only 2 teams get to make it out to top 4. It's going to be a very exciting battle. It's going to be a very exciting road ahead. So make sure to turn that notification bell on, like, subscribe, so you do not miss the buzz when we go live tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can convert it to whatever time zone that you live in all across the world. With that being said, that's going to be it for us. Incredible games. Big congrats to all the teams who played today. Incredible matches all around, but textbook domination today. So again, that's going to be it. That's going to be wrapping up for all of us today, right here for NACT. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.